Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, check out the description for more awesome content and my playlist. The author of the story MullinLiam from Wattpad. So let's start the video. Nobody's POV. The sounds of a madman cackling are all that is heard from the central plaza at US. Strewn across the building's zones lay many unconscious students and staff. One clings to consciousness, doubting herself after watching her classmates, teachers, and predecessor get completely demolished by villains. Ochaco's POV. Damn it. Why am I so useless? I lay in a pool of my own BLD. My limbs broken as I remember what happened. I somehow months ago earned the right to inherit one for all. With it I managed to get into the hero course of UA High. Won the battle trial. Today was to be simple rescue training. But it wasn't meant to be. We arrived as a portal opened in the plaza unleashes waves of villains. Led by a man covered in what looked like hands. Flanked by 4 massive bird-like humanoids with open brains. Before we knew what was happening, my class was spread throughout the USJ. 13 was attacked and left badly wounded. Izuku Sensei was facing the villains all alone. Our class rep had managed to escape to warn the teachers it was useless. The villains tore through the class, killing Mineta, Bakugo, and Aoyama. Even the greatest hero, All Might, was defeated. Slain by the hand-covered man and his Nomu bioengineered anti-symbols of peace. You are my successor, young Uraraka, no matter what you must live. He told me. But I was a fool. I tried to get vengeance for today's events and was soundly beaten. But for some reason Handyman doesn't want me to die. I'm sorry, All Might. Dad, I broke my promise. I say as the light of hope is extinguished. Just then a massive green explosion rockets through the area. What? SPOV. I was spending the day having a picnic with my adorable adopted daughter when suddenly that rat messages me. Izuku Strife, I request your aid immediately at USJ. Villains have attacked my students and it seems even All Might won't be winning this battle. Please one last time join the fight, I beg of you. I sigh as I look at Eri. Eri, I'm sorry, but Papa needs to help people. I will take you to Grandpa and Grandma for now. I won't be long, I promise. Eri looks at me tearfully. Papa, will you go save people like you did with me? I smile as I pat her head, picking her up to take her to Fenrir, my adoptive father's high-tech motorcycle. Yes, Eri, I will. Bad people attack some students and they need your Papa to save them. Will you be okay at Grandpa and Grandma's? I ask as she smiles. Okay, Papa, I trust you. Save them. Make the bad people go away and come back to me. I smile, always Snowball. I'll always come back to you. I drive at high speeds to see Dad sitting outside his home. Hey Dad. Duty calls, can you and Mom watch over Eri for me? My dad smiles at me. That I can, son. Stay safe and always remember. We love you. You are our living legacy in this world. He says as he holds Eri. Go Papa. Beat those bad guys but good. She says with her ruby eyes shining with an inner fire. I will. Keep Grandpa and Grandma safe for me, Eri. Bye for now, I love you all so much. I shout as I take off to head towards USJ. Damn it, Nizu, what's but might gotten your students dragged into? I wonder as I fly down the streets. I pull up to the building and go to head inside. Already I see the doors smashed off their hinges. Several unconscious students as well as 13 and Midnight. I sigh as I walk between them using Kuraga to heal them all. I stand up to see hundreds of villains in the center. But Might appears to be mortally wounded by the boss and Nizu, and several students are laying in bloody heaps. I see a brunette with a bob cut laying still conscious, bleeding profusely with broken arms and legs, and wonder why the villains are just ignoring her. I walk forward to catch her words. I'm sorry, All Might. Dad, I broke my promise. Finally my anger erupts. I raise a hand above the center plaza and roar, Ultimea. Unleashing a massive powerful green blast 10 meters above the central plaza, catching the majority of the villains unaware. After the smoke clears, the only ones still standing are the mist villain, the handyman, and what appear to be human bird hybrids with open brain cases. What? I hear the girl say. I walk over to her and heal her. Stand up and get the staff and students to the entrance, Ms. She looks at me amazed she is healed and starts to tear up. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 Uraraka. Please sir, save my class and teachers. She says as she starts to stand. But I will. Now hurry. I can't fight all out with so many people near me. I stand and walk up to Handyman and the birds. Who are you freaking bastard? What did you just do? I smile. Well, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘. I'm just a courier and right now I'm delivering my foot square up your lady parts. I say with a smirk. The villain growls as he starts clawing at his neck. AF 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗍𝗧 boy. What the F you gonna do 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗍𝗧 boy? My 𝗏𝗧𝗎s and I just killed the #1 hero. What chance do you stand? I laugh at that. Well, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘. I'll let you in on a secret. I'm stronger than but might and all for one both. I say with a SHT eating grin as 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗍𝗧 starts to laugh maniacally. Haha, good one 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗍𝗧 boy. No one is stronger than sensei. Nobody. I laugh at that. Oh really? Care to put that to the test then 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗍𝗧 or you gonna SCK your MSTR's PP some more? I say with a smile. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗍𝗧 snarled at me before smiling, 𝗏𝗧𝗎s kill this punk. He yells as the birds start to rush me. Dilly-dally shilly-sholy. Guess you need help. Oh well, let's try a little bio. I yell as I make a massive pool of toxic sludge shoot out of my hands and cover the birds. I watch as one begins to melt immediately while the other 3 seem to have regeneration quirks, so it's not as effective on them. Only one. Well, this might be fun. I say as I pull the massive buster sword off my back and slash at the 3 creatures. I manage to cut the right arm and leg off of one of them before tanking a punch to the face. Really? Just a jab. Did you not upload some combat skills in your pet projects? I say smirking as I reach up and rip the arm off the beast as it roars in pain. Oh, what did bird brain get a boo-boo? Hold on, let me kiss it better. I say as I charge a blade beam attack and slash directly at the 𝗏𝗧𝗎. The energy smashes into it, disintegrating it, before it splits up to attack the other 2 𝗏𝗧s and the mistmen. As expected, the 𝗏𝗧s are unscathed, but I scored a direct hit on the mist dude. Well, how about that 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗍𝗧? Took out half your 𝗏𝗧s and your ride. Shall we keep going? I say, dodging the attacks of the 𝗏𝗧s at high speeds. 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏 boy. How the F are you so strong? He hisses as I smile. You got it wrong 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗍𝗧. I'm not strong right now. Only using 1% of my power. Ergo you and your birdies are just weak. I say as I unleash a Faraga on one 𝗏𝗧 and start to slash the other to pieces. True strength is earned by walking the path of BLD and surviving. Just be glad I'm the opponent you face. Also killed another of your birdies. I laugh as the one I sliced up fails to regenerate. Rag, what the F? You cheater, there's no way you're this strong, I'll F kill you. He bellows as he rushes me to fight me 2-on-1. You fell for it by letting your emotions control you 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗍𝗧. Don't worry, I won't kill you, but I will kill your pet. Remember these words, man-child, don't ever underestimate me. Say goodnight and go to sleep. I say, casting a sleep spell on him. Before I grab the other 𝗏𝗧 and launch it skyward through the busted roof. I launch up and get right up against the 𝗏𝗏. I am sorry for the humans used to create you, but I will end your suffering. Flare. I yell as the sky fills with a massive fire and light blast. I sigh. 𝗍𝗎𝗍 owe me big time for making me come out of hiding. I warned you I need to stay hidden from this world. Oh well, better heal the students and staff. Ochaco's POV, holy F. That guy just destroyed them all in a matter of minutes. Even captured the warp guy and the dude with hands all over him. I hear Kirishima exclaim. Why yeah, but look at the results of today, All Might is dead. So are Mineta Bakugo and Aoyama, we failed to protect everyone. I say as I start to cry, remembering my 10 months of hell with All Might and the responsibility of inheriting OFA. Some pathetic successor I turned out to be. I let you die and couldn't protect anyone. We needed that boy's help to come out alive. I'm sorry, All Might. I yell in my mind as the tears fall while I'm holding Tsu. We hear footsteps approaching. Ms. Uraraka, thank you for getting your classmates and teachers to safety. Let me see the injured. I hear the calm, strong voice of our mysterious savior as he kneels beside me. Oh okay, mister. He smiles so bright. Izuku 𝗧𝗏, courier of 𝗧𝗏 services at your service. Now let me heal these guys up and then I need to talk with the rat. I'm stunned. This overpowered boy Izuku 𝗧𝗏 is just a courier. How did he get so powerful? Why isn't he a hero? He walks between the injured healing them just like he healed me. Young 𝗧𝗏. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry I dragged you into this, but not even All Might stood a chance. I hear the principal say to 𝗧𝗏-san. 𝗧𝗏, I am glad to help, but you know you ruined my picnic because of this. I warned you not to hire him, but did you listen? Just had to hire that charlatan. Sorry, I did not mean to get angry. How are your staff and students? Other than All Might, are any missing? He asks, making me wonder who he was so angry at 𝗧𝗎 for hiring. I spoke next. 𝗧𝗏-san. We lost 𝗛𝗏, 𝗧𝗏, and Katsuki Bakugo. They were killed right in front of us. I swear I saw him flinch when I said Bakugo's name. Weird, I thought as I hear Midnight sigh. We really failed today, 𝗧𝗎. What do we do? 𝗧𝗎 looks at Midnight grimly. We wait for the police and emergency services to arrive first. We take care of the bodies of All Might, 𝗛𝗏, Katsuki Bakugo, and 𝗧𝗏. Then we head back to campus to discuss this in private. I feel we should let school out for the day. Also, young 𝗧𝗏. Would you join us at the school? The boy sighs. I was going to go pick up Eri and be with her. Can I grab her and bring her with us? Also, you know this, but the brunette must attend the discussion. She needs to know the truth of things. I froze as my spine shivered. The students and teachers looked around confused. Before 𝗧𝗎 and Recovery Girl spoke in unison, that's true. Ms. Uraraka, you will join us. For starters, go with 𝗧𝗏. He will protect you as he does what he needs to do and then brings you to UA. All the teachers and students look at me as I start to feel dread fill my body. Suddenly a hand comfortingly rubs my back. It is okay, Ms. Uraraka. I will get you there safely. We can discuss things on the way. 𝗧𝗏-san says with a soft smile. I look from him to the teachers and my classmates. 𝗧𝗎 smiles at me and nods. Trust him, young Uraraka. He may be your greatest ally. I nod as he and I slowly walk out of UA. I see this high-tech motorcycle parked in front. 𝗧𝗏 walks up and pulls a helmet out. You will want to wear this. Sorry, the pink one is Aries and she gets rather jealous when others use her things. I know you have many questions, Ms. Uraraka, 9th user of One for All, but trust me, for now it's best to relax and try to get your mind off what you just went through. He says, smiling at me. So bright. I smile as best as I can and put the helmet on. 𝗧𝗏-san. Where will I sit? I ask as he stares blankly. Well, you will sit in front of me, as if you sit behind me you could fall off. Fenrir is a very powerful bike. He says with a light blush on his cheeks. I nod as I sit on the bike, still trying to accept that All Might, the world symbol of peace and justice, is no more. I feel him sit behind me and hear some noise like a door opening. I look down and to my surprise the bike opens up a bit and he places his swords in these slot things. Oh, this must have cost a ton. I say without thinking. I hear him laugh as he starts the bike. Yeah. It cost a few arms and legs, Ms. Uraraka. He says with a smile. JJ, just call me Uraraka. I tell him as he pauses a moment. VV, very well, Uraraka. He said as we shot down the street super fast. The speed was so much I basically got slammed back into his chest. Sorry. Told you this dog has some power. I blush as I am right up against his muscular body. Oh, it's okay. I stutter, embarrassed. 𝗧𝗏-san, thank you for saving us. I'm sorry your date got ruined. I hear him laugh. No problem. Though Eri is my daughter. He says, chuckling. Your daughter? How old are you, as you look my age? He laughs at that as we speed through the streets with him weaving through traffic. Well, Uraraka-san, I am 15 years old as of July. I get confused. You're my age and this powerful. What the heck? I blurt out before can even think. I hear a sad laugh. Yeah. I earned my strength through sheer force of will. But Uraraka, one question. What promise did you break with your parents? He asked, sad but serious. I freeze and grip his bike's handle harder. To become a hero and help them make their lives easier. I respond bitterly. I trained so hard. Even was deemed worthy of OF, but I was utterly useless. All might died and I was too weak to protect anyone, I say as tears start to flow. I feel the bike pull to a stop as I hear him speak. Uraraka-san. Never doubt yourself. I've been there. Hell, 5 years ago I was so weak even my 𝗧𝗚𝗧𝗟𝗘 parents underestimated me and pushed me aside. But look at me now. I'm strong enough to protect people. I have a great family and a decent job. But most importantly, I have an appealing adopted daughter and was able to use my strength to protect you and your class as well as teachers. I don't know your story nor why that promise haunts you so. But the moment you doubt yourself and let hope leave you, only then can you not become that which you seek to become. So dry your tears and come inside. He says with conviction and kindness as I feel his hands on my shoulders. I look up to see his soft smile and amazingly bright cyan eyes. Thanks, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘. But are you sure it's okay to come in? He laughs. Well, how else will you meet my daughter and parents? My parents can help you alleviate your doubts and little Eri will definitely cheer you up. He says, flashing that million-watt smile. I shake the tears away and put on my best smile I can manage. Okay, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘. We walk inside to see a muscular blonde-haired man holding a little girl with silvery white hair, a small horn on one side of her head, and appealing red eyes. Papa is back, ya. She squeaks as she jumps out of the man's hands and tackles 𝗧𝗏. Oh, Eri, you got me good. Thanks for the hug, 𝗏𝗱. I told you I'd be back and I will never break a promise to you. He says as they laugh together. Her smile is even brighter than his. I giggle at their antics before the blonde-haired man walks over. Well, you gonna sit there? Hugging Eri all day or introduce your girlfriend to us? I hear him tease as 𝗧𝗏 and I both blush. Wow, she is so pretty, Papa. Is she my new mama? She asks so innocently as I start to blush harder. Dad, come on. See what you did? 𝗧𝗏 panic yells. Sorry, was just trying to tease you, little man. His dad says apologetically. It's fine. Eri, this is one of the people I saved today. No, she is not your mama as we only just met. 𝗧𝗏 says calmly to Eri, which makes her look sad. But Papa, you promised to find me a mama. She hollers as I giggle a bit. Hello Eri, I am Ochaco Uraraka. Eri looks at me and smiles. Wow, Oka is so pretty, huh, Papa? I stop there blushing with my jaw open. She thinks I am pretty. What? I hear 𝗧𝗏 speak. Why yes, she is Eri, but we have business to attend to. I look at him as he's blushing wildly. Cute, this is POV. After the embarrassing moment of Dad messing with me, Uraraka and Eri, I begin to introduce my family to her. Ochaco Uraraka, this is my father Cloud 𝗧𝗏. As well as my adopted snowball Eri 𝗧𝗏. I say to her as Dad waves at her and Eri hops down to walk over and do a little bow. Nice to meet you, pretty Oka. I am Eri 𝗧𝗏. I am glad Papa saved you too. Eri says with her sun-like smile. I look around to notice Mom sneaking up on Uraraka and start to sweat. 𝗧𝗏 Mom is gonna tease her. This is bad. This is bad. This is so bad. I quickly speak. Oh, and behind you is my mother Tifa 𝗧𝗏. I holler out as Uraraka jumps just in time to get bear hugged by Mom. Oh, so this little cutie is reason you left Eri here. If you wanted to go on a date, why not say so before the last minute, Izu? Mom says as my brain stops functioning. Date. Luckily Dad comes in with a save. Oh, quit that, Tifa. I already teased him about it. Uraraka is one of the people Izuku had to go rescue. Mom pouts at Dad. Well, can you blame me? Izu never brings girls here and he finally brings a appealing girl to meet us. What was I supposed to think? Honestly, Cloud, it's a mother's duty to make sure her son is happy in all things. She yells as tick marks pop on her head. I quickly grab Uraraka's shoulder and hand her Eri just in case things escalate and Dad gets beat up again. Sorry, Tifa. I didn't mean to upset you. PP, please don't hurt me. He yells, fleeing from the room as Mom just cackles. That dad of yours is something else. Anyway, Uraraka-san, it is nice to meet you. She says as Uraraka looks nervous. And nice meeting you too. She squeaks out. I giggle. Uraraka, the only one who should be scared of Mom right now is Dad. She won't hurt you. Mom and I laugh as Uraraka breathes a sigh of release. Mom gets a serious expression. Izuku, will you take Eri to Cloud then come and tell me what happened? I nod, then take Eri to Dad for a moment. Just for a bit, Eri, then you, me, and Uraraka have to go somewhere together. Promise. Eri looks sad but agrees. I find Dad cowering in his bedroom and hand him Eri to tell him what's going on before heading back to Mom and Uraraka. We listen to Uraraka's story about today's events as she cries and Mom holds her. Uraraka, I am sorry for what happened. You're so young yet you had to suffer true villainy today. I am sorry you lost classmates today. It's a hard reality of this world. She says as she strokes Uraraka's hair and hugs her with the other arm. I just thank God for this world giving me such a brave and strong son who protected and healed you and your classmates. This world is tough, Uraraka. It will beat you down if you let it. Do not blame yourself for what happened. You need to focus on the future. I know you lost someone close to you, but you are still here. Your parents are still here. Your friends are still here. Use this to devote yourself on your path. We can't truly learn how to win without losing. Mom says, trying to comfort her. I spoke next. Uraraka. While the last user of OFA and I didn't agree or even like each other, I hope he would be proud that you still live and carry on the goal of OFA. He was lost today, but in losing him the world gained the next number one in you. Use this loss to motivate you to get strong. Stronger than all might. Strong enough to be kind and kind enough to be unbeatable. We will talk with Nizu and the others and tell you all of how I know of OFA and the things about it I know All Might didn't tell you. We will rectify this situation and not let the loss of the number one lead to ruin. That I promise. I say with my eyes shining with my unbreakable willpower. Uraraka calms at this. Before speaking. Do I even deserve this power? She asks quietly. Mom and I look at each other and sigh. Uraraka. It's normal to doubt yourself, but ask yourself this. When the chips were down and everyone was beat, did you flee in fear or try to protect and save everyone? I ask as she looks at me. I tried to fight. I tried to help everyone, but it wasn't enough. I got trounced. Shattered and tossed to city. In the end, I wasn't even worthy enough to kill. Instead, others died for me. She says grimly. Uraraka-chan. You still tried to stand and fight for them. You wanted to help them even at the cost of your life and body. That is the essence of heroism. The longing to act in order to save and protect. Yes, you were beaten. Yes, others died. But you still fought until your body couldn't fight anymore. You deserve to inherit All Might's power. In fact, only one other person on this earth would have deserved this power, but he was not granted it. You must accept the power. You must accept that you were deserving of it. Accept today's defeat and losses and train to be so strong you never go through this again. You can do it, Ochaco Uraraka. You can be a hero. Mom says as Uraraka grabs her chest as tears fall. Why you're right, Mrs. Strife. Now is not the time for doubts. I will become stronger. Strong enough to save everyone. Uraraka says with newfound resolve. Good, now Izu, we need to talk. I pale as this doesn't seem like it's going to be a good talk. I sigh as we walk to her and Dad's room. Before things happened at the USJ, we got a call from Nizu. He wishes to hire you to work at UA and help train the students. You will accept this offer. Am I clear? She says with a bit of killer intent leaking. Dad and I shiver as we both nod furiously. She smiles. Good, now take your appealing daughter and pretty girlfriend to you. We don't got all day, you know. She says teasingly. I sigh and grab Eri as we head to Uraraka. Well, looks like today gets better and better. Come on, Uraraka, time to visit the rat. I say as she smiles. Nizu's POV. I sigh as I look at the reporters swarming campus. We lost Toshinori and 3 students to a villain attack we weren't prepared for. I closed school for the day as I called for Night Eye, Tsukachi, and the entire staff to meet in a conference room. I warned him. That stupid fool didn't listen. If he gave Mirio OFA and retired, this never would have happened. Growls Night Eye through teary eyes. Enough, Mirai. Now is not the time. Once the 9th and 𝗧𝗏 get here we will discuss our future plans. I say as he scowls at me. Aizawa looks at me. This better be important, Nizu. I lost 3 kids today. But might as well. We have no time for games. I sigh as I get notified that they were here and on their way. It's more important than you could ever know. We wait a few minutes before they enter. Wow could cut the tension with a knife. Hey night guy. How's the freaky eyes doing today? 𝗧𝗏 says, trying to lift the mood. How dare you? We just lost our last hope of ending AFO and you stand here joking with me, Dolvoy boy. Night Eye roars, but before he could get up and do anything, Eri yells at him. You hush, Mine. You always yell at Papa. You are a bad man just like Overhaul was. Making Night Eye blanch. I warned you, night guy. My daughter won't tolerate your attitude. Neither will I. So sit down and shut up so we can start this meeting. He growls out, unleashing a massive wave of killer intent directly at Mirai, making him drop to his knees before turning to smile softly at me. Okay, rat. Now can we get on with this? He says as my eye twitches. Very well, 𝗧𝗏. I let them sit down as Midnight and 13 coo over Eri. Tell us what you know of OFA now, 𝗧𝗏. How did you even find out about it? Mirai interjects as 𝗧𝗏 glares at him. Shut up, Mirai, before I let my daughter rewind you into a 𝗧𝗑𝑑𝑠 and punt you into the sun. He says with venom in his voice. Mirai, do not speak. You are here to listen, nothing more. I say with as much authority as I can. Yes, sir. He said bitterly. Now to answer his question. I discovered OFA 5 years ago when but might saved me from a villain attack. He ran out of time and showed me his injury. We spoke, and once he learned I was quirkless he shoved me down and said he regretted saving my worthless but. After he left I was kidnapped by All for One. He told me about but might's power and how a long time ago he was quirkless too. Does that answer your stupid question, Mirai? 𝗧𝗏 said angrily. Mirai just nodded his head. He looked more angry but didn't open his mouth. All Might was quirkless. Squeaked young Uraraka. Who the hell is All for One? She continues as 𝗧𝗏 raised his hand. I know you have questions, but let me explain everything first, okay, Uraraka-san? He said gently but with authority. She nodded her head before he continued his story. After I was kidnapped and AFO told me the history of OFA, he said he was going to use me to kill but might. Luckily 2 beings came to Earth that day and saved me. My adoptive parents. After we fled they trained me in their fighting styles and gave me materia I used to learn all their world's magic. Apparently they were fighting a villain stronger than All Might in his prime and AFO in his prime put together. That being threw them through space and time into our universe. After training with them for 4 years I met Nizu on a DLVI run when he was overwhelmed by a massive amount of villains. After rescuing him we began to talk and became allies. I would help here and there and he would use his power to keep me out of the spotlight. It's why no one but Mirai, Nizu, and Recovery Girl knew of me. About a year ago I heard whispers of a group dedicated to killing but might. I warned Nizu but apparently he didn't listen. He told me he was going to hire but might to work here as a teacher, a god-awful idea by the way, Nizu, so I just kept gathering information. It's how I found out about but might passing the quirk on. While I did not know to who I found out as soon as I got to USJ. This quirk is a beast to handle, Uraraka. It is why you break your bones. Well, that and but might never properly taught you how to wield its awesome power. He finished speaking when the teachers all sighed looking at me. I sweat dropped. Well, that was accurate. However, Uraraka is the wielder of All Might's quirk. We must do our best to train her properly. I wish to install dorms so we can better protect the students. I will make press releases and do interviews to fight for the school. I wish also to hire young 𝗧𝗏 here as the new heroics teacher. Aizawa. Pick 3 students to join class 1A. Pick any first year in this school. I will do all I can to keep us going. Cementos, you and Power Loader work on constructing the dorms. Midnight, you and Hound Dog will begin therapy for every member of 1A. Yes, that means you too, Ms. Uraraka. We will try to get all the parents' approval to allow the students to continue studying here. Also, 𝗧𝗏, it is time. I wish to hire your parents as well as full-time security. As well as bring you and them into the spotlight. I know you needed to stay hidden, but events are forcing our hands and you three can't hide away from this. Does everyone understand? The staff agrees easily, but Strife just grumbles and stares daggers at me. After a long, uncomfortable silence, he spoke. As much as I wish to disagree with you, I cannot. You're right. The Strife family is needed now more than ever. I make 2 requests. My room will allow a small bed for Eri in it, and we will teach her here. Also, I will be the one to speak to the Bakugo family before we do any news conferences. Is that acceptable, Rat? I sigh but agree. I know his history with that family. Uraraka now speaks up quietly. Was All Might really quirkless before OFA, and did he really treat you like that, Strife-san? Strife, myself, and Recovery Girl all nod the affirmative before Strife spoke again. Uraraka All Might forgot where he came from. He let his power and fame go to his head. He died a hero's death, but in my eyes he was not a true hero and never could be after how he treated someone like himself before he got power. He left the quirkless to suffer in misery. I do not agree with him on almost all matters save one. You truly deserve the power he never saw me worthy of. Yes, Mirai, this girl is far more worthy than Mirio ever would be. Do not even try to argue or deny that fact. I met both and peered into their hearts. Mirio is hiding things from you, Mirai. Sort that out and drop your arrogance and hate before you join All Might in the grave. Understood. Mirai pales but nods. He glares at Uraraka before leaving in a huff. I sigh. We are in for the long haul, Strife. He chuckles. That's a huge understatement. Also, since I'll be joining as a teacher, all of the staff can just call me Izuku. Now I'll head home and discuss things with my family. Uraraka. Call your parents and tell them to meet at my home. There is much we need to discuss with them. Izuku says as he stands and steals Eri back from 13 and Midnight, who were taking a bunch of pics with her. Come on, Snowball, you and Uraraka need to leave. You can take more pictures with them some other time. He says as they get up and leave. How will you weasel your way into keeping the school and students Nizu? Asks Aizawa as I sigh. Izuku's POV. We return to my home after Uraraka contacts her parents and gives them the address. Looking more distraught than ever. I meant what I said, Uraraka. You deserve that quirk more than Mirio ever will. That boy may be a member of the Big Three, he may have permeation and been chosen my Night Eye. But you have something he doesn't. Uraraka looks at me, signs she had been crying visible on her face. What do I have that a member of Big Three doesn't? I sigh. You have true conviction and self-sacrificing nature. You are geared for rescue. Mirio is not. Plus, Mirio has had some legal issues in the past that would clash with OFA. Not to mention he chooses to run instead of fight when the going gets tough. Uraraka smiles a bit but still appears to doubt herself and her own worth. I smile a bit as I get a thought. I'll prove it to you, Uraraka. I get up and ask her to watch Eri as I need to run this by my parents. She just nods and hugs her when I hand her Eri. I head to my parents' room and knock on the door. Dad answers. Hey Dad, you remember that idea I had a few weeks back? Ochaco's POV. I sit in Strife-san's living room playing and talking with little Eri, waiting for my parents to arrive. Eri sees me looking sad and gives me a big hug. It's okay, Mama Oka. Papa saved you. I don't know what he meant by your quirk, but if Papa says you're a better person for it, then it's true. 'Cause he don't lie to nobody never. She says proudly. I giggle. You're right, little unicorn. I say to her, but in my head I don't believe it. After about 30 minutes, Strife-san comes back from whatever he did with his parents. We talk some more before there's a knock on the door. I smile softly, hoping it's my parents, as Strife gets up and answers the door, revealing my parents to be there. Daddy. I yell as I place Eri down and run to them. My parents looking at me nervously. As well as thankfully. Ochaco. Oh, thank God. When the school called and told us what happened, we were so terrified of what could have happened to you. Mom cried out as Dad bear hugged me. We sit there for who knows how long, crying as we hold each other. Mr. and Mrs. Uraraka. I heard Strife-san say quietly. My parents looked at him as he held little Eri. I am sorry to interrupt. I am Izuku Strife. I am supposed to speak with you about not just the events of today but the future as well. He said calmly as we rose from our tearful stupor. As he did, his parents walked into the room. My father walked forward until he was right in front of ―. He stood a few feet from him before he spoke. "So you are the boy we are indebted to. I don't know how we will ever thank you for saving our little girl, Mr. ―, but I swear I will find a way to repay you," he said as he and mother bowed deeply before ―san knelt down and placed a hand on each of my parents' shoulders. "While I accept your gratitude, Mr. and Mrs. Uraraka, I cannot ask either of you to repay me for my actions. I don't require a reward for saving Uraraka-san." My parents raised their heads as my father tried to protest. "PP, please. There must be something we can do to prove our thanks for saving our little girl," begged my father. "Hush now. As I said, your gratitude was payment enough. But I have a few things to discuss with you. You remember your daughter talk about her mutation to her quirk?" he asked as my parents looked confused. "Well, the truth is, lazy author explanation skip. TT, this is incredible." Mother spoke after he explained OFA to them and looked to me to nod the affirmative. "All Might gave his power to our princess. Even from beyond the grave he protects us," father said as ― flinches. "Well, yes. However, on to the issues. UA is going to become a boarding school from this point forward, as such they wish to get permission to move Uraraka-san as well as the others into the dorms. The reason I was chosen to speak with you is thus. I will be hired as the new heroics teacher to replace All Might. As well, I am going to be responsible for training Uraraka-san in the proper use of OFA so she no longer breaks her body when she uses it. My parents will be joining UA High as security. If you are feeling scared, know this. Before you stands the 3 strongest people on Earth even before All Might passed away. We will protect your daughter and all the students to never again allow such evil acts to occur. I will sooner die than let anyone kidnap or harm your daughter. I will devote my time to training her to become the hero the 6 of us know she can be. She may doubt herself, she may feel indebted to you as well as us, she may feel at fault for All Might's passing, but we all know how strong her conviction is. Between you, my parents, myself, and Eri, we will make Uravity one of the greatest heroes of all time. Will you grant this selfish request of me? We cannot allow the villains to win, nor can we allow them to capture her should she not be at UA. Please, Mr. and Mrs. Uraraka. Allow me to do my duty and help your daughter save everyone," he says with his eyes glowing a brilliant cyan full of determination and will. I blush crimson as I could hear it in his words. He truly does believe every word he just spoke. But what? I failed to save my friends. I failed my teachers. I even failed All Might. How can he believe what he says? My parents take their time before my father stands up and places a hand on each of ―san's shoulders. I know how great my daughter can be if she puts her mind to it. I can feel you believe in her as well. But promise me this, ―. You will be there to protect her in times of trouble until she graduates. You will teach her to control her quirk's abilities. You will be not just her protector but her friend. Can you promise me these things? ― stands tall before immediately responding, "Yes. We, my parents and I, we will train her, guide her on this path, and protect her with our lives. I will be her friend as long as she can put up with me." These words are not just words I speak but a promise I make to whatever deities saw fit to rule this world. My parents mull over these words before Mom speaks up. "Did you say you and your parents are currently the 3 strongest people on Earth?" she asks calmly. "Yes, because we are. Currently, if All Might were still here, he'd be much weaker than us even if he never gave Uraraka-san his quirk." My mom and dad smile. "Then we accept. We will allow her to return to UA for as long as your words hold truth." ― relaxes and flashes that 𝗔𝗫𝗚𝗟𝗡 smile, as does Eri. "That means Mama Oka comes to school with us, right, Papa?" Both ― and I freeze solid. So close. My parents eye Eri, then ―, then me before Mrs. ― spoke next. "I'm sorry, it's not what you think. See, one innocent snowball's confusion explanation later. Oh, now I understand. Sorry, I thought something was going on between our babies." Mother spoke as we all begin to relax. Izuku's POV, few disaster averted. We explain that yes, Uraraka will continue going to UA to Eri, who smiles brightly. Before I remember my talk with Mom and Dad. Oh, before I forget. Mr. and Mrs. Uraraka, will you two come with Annie for a moment? I ask as I stand up and hand Eri to Uraraka. Confused, they do as asked, and I walk them to my room. We shut the door before I turn around. Sigh, here goes nothing. I will prove your own heroic heart to you, Uraraka. I have heard of the financial situation with your construction company and come with an offer. They look a bit nervous before Mr. Uraraka spoke. Now, young man, we will not accept any handouts. We work hard and can't accept anything we can never repay. I smiled. Well, that's good, as I wasn't just going to hand it to you. You see, I like my parents are all quirkless. I say, shocking them both as they look at me then each other. Wow, amazing, the 3 strongest people alive don't even have quirks and still gain their strength. That's amazing. Mrs. Uraraka said, stars in her eyes. Indeed, Han, that's tremendously surprising. I look between them and see no signs of lies. Thank you, but you see, us quirkless are always abused, bullied, suicide-baited, always blamed for those things as well and forced to be punished for it. As such, I have a project for your company. I know many quirkless in both my old neighborhood and near UA. I therefore would like to hire your company to build me 2 orphanages, one in my old neighborhood as well as one near UA. We will take in any children such as those with no quirks, weak quirks, or villainous quirks. We will care for them for free and train them to use their quirks or to simply learn to defend themselves. We will school them in everything from kindergarten to senior in high school. That way they get their education as well as a good healthy environment to grow. I will hire staff that are trustworthy. Will you accept my family's request? They look shocked. Before Mr. Uraraka spoke, 2 things. How much is the contract per building, and second, what is the true reason for this request? If it's just to take advantage of our daughter, we will say no and take her out of UA immediately. Mrs. Uraraka slapped the back of his head. That was rude, dear. But I would like your answers, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟. I smiled. Uraraka has some great parents in the 2 of you. 1. This is going to be worth the equivalent of $120,000 for both jobs, so $240,000. 2. Because I wish to help those less fortunate than others and those who went through what I did growing up. Because with this done and we keep it secret from Uraraka, she will be forced to recognize her own heroic heart. She feels lesser than my family and even her classmates. She thinks they have far more noble reasons to be heroes. She doesn't even see how strong and brave she truly is, nor does she view herself as worthy of OFA. Then when the orphanages are complete, we can tell her as that should be long enough for her to understand she truly is a deserving hero. I see my old self in her. One who doubts and hates themselves, who feels at fault for every bad thing which happens. I wish to heal her heart and ease her burdens and in the process help the 2 of you. I can see the stress of your situation in your eyes. This will give you the money and exposure to allow your business to expand, easing your financial situation and lessening the burdens on all 3 of you. I know it's a selfish request. I know I have no right to stick my nose in, but please, I wish to help you 3 and all the orphaned and abused children cast aside by society. Will you please accept this offer? They mull it over before Mr. Uraraka sighs as he nods and puts his hand out. Then you've got yourself a pair of orphanages being built. I must admit you are a rare sight these days. From how it was described you fought with such arrogance and flippant ways, I figured you were some egotistical cocky guy with no care for others. Now I see that was a facade. You truly have a heroic spirit, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟. I look forward to seeing what becomes of you and how far you'll help our daughter grow on her path to becoming a hero. He says, making me smile. You praise me too much, but thank you, sir. I promise to never go back on my word. I will make everything I said come into reality. Mrs. Uraraka smiles before gets a wild eye. You sure it's not just as a way to SCK up to us to get our daughter's hand? I freeze with a blank expression in my face before the world goes black. After 10 minutes I wake up to Eri on my chest as Mom, Mrs. Uraraka and Uraraka-chan fussing over me as Dad and Mr. Uraraka cackle in the distance. What happened? I ask, and both Dad and Mr. Uraraka laugh and say, Mrs. Uraraka / my wife broke your head teasing ya. As they began howling with laughter as Mrs. Uraraka and Uraraka-san blush with Mom placing her hand on my shoulder, just let it go. They'll be punished later. she says with a devilish grin. I begin fearing for their lives, not my problem. We end up having dinner together as I start thinking up ideas on a training regimen for Uraraka. Time skip to next day. Author Sim, what? I'm lazy, you try typing all this 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, back to the story. Sorry. Ooh, look, what's that? Narrator San, that lazy just leave and stick me with this. F better get a pay raise for this 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, back to what a wait. Author San. Who the FPOV is it now? Screw it, I got this. Just roll with it. Apologies for minor meltdown. Drum roll please. Izuku's POV. I'm back in the old haunt with Eri, Nizu, as well as Aizawa. Sighing, I lead them to the Bakugo home. I wish I came under different circumstances, but I think someone out there enjoys me over. Author San. Hey, but you wanna go, you fourth wall breaking mothermf. Narrator San, clamping the author's mouth shut. Nah mofo, you had your chance. I knock on the door as I ask Aizawa and Nizu to step back. After a few minutes it slowly opens up and I see Aunt Mitsuki disheveled with swollen eyes that looked devoid of life. She takes a second to look me and Eri over before I flash my million-watt smile. Hello Auntie, is all I get out before I'm wrapped into a bone-crushing hug as Mitsuki cries on my shoulder while, Izuku, my god nephew, where have you been? What happened to you? I start turning blue as Eri taps Mitsuki on the shoulder and says, spiky hair lady, please let Papa go. He's turning blue. She lets go immediately and jumps back confused as to why a 5-year-old is calling me Papa. Thank God, precious oxygen, I missed a 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Please enter. She looks between us and levels a deadly glare at 𝗎𝐻𝗎 but allows us inside. 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗟𝗘 may die today. Mef the rat for hiring but might. I think with a smile on my face as I walk with Auntie to her living room. She sits me, Eri, and Izawa on the couch taking a seat in a chair before staring daggers at me. Oh right, you have questions? She sighs. Izuku Midoriya. She notices me flinch at the name but continues. This is the first time since you were 7 years old that you have been to my home. You will tell me everything. From what happened between you and Katsuki until now for why you chose now to return. I sigh. What I say will change your opinions of my SPRM and egg donors as well as your son and even All Might. Are you truly prepared for this information, Aunt Mitsuki? She flinches and with teary eyes tells me to go on. Very well. From the day I was diagnosed as quirkless inko, as well as Hisashi abused me and refused to feed me. I had to get jobs to pay for my own food, learn to cook my own food. Learn to do everything one should learn at a much older age until the day I vanished. As well. From that day on Katsuki bullied me. It started with words then occasional physical attacks. Until I was 7 then he began using his quirk on me. I say as I stand up and remove my shirt and jacket, reveal all the burns and scars for all to see. Only a few came from others besides those 3. I nearly was killed 7 times before I would have entered middle school. I was lucky enough to be able to handle most injuries myself, but once or twice I was healed before those who healed me stopped after learning my quirklessness. Truly until I vanished and met some people, you and Uncle Masaru were the only ones who accepted me and showed me kindness and love. It was due to that I was afraid to tell you about my parents' abuse and your son's actions against me. I had it in my head that if I said anything you two would be like all the others and I could not let that happen. On the day I vanished, Katsuki destroyed my notebook and told me the words that nearly broke me. There is a way to get a quirk. Take a swan dive off the roof and wish for a quirk in the next life. That was the advice he had for me. Mitsuki was a waterfall of tears before she jumped up and hugged me, crying into my chest. After that I went home but was attacked by the sludge villain. I was saved by but might. He was trying to rush and I grabbed his leg to ask him a question. We landed on a roof and he started to berate me before I asked him, can I be a hero without a quirk? I'm just a normal kid. I don't have any powers, but I always thought saving people was the coolest thing one could do. So could someone quirkless like me ever hope to be like you? During my talking he began to steam up before in a poof of smoke a very skeletal man stood before me. So I figured it was a fraud. After he told me about this injury he had and a time limit he got around to answering my question. My hope was building, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. He looked at me and began to laugh before saying, "No, you quirkless freak. Go join a circus or something. No way you can be a hero. I can't believe I wasted my time on your worthless butt," he said as he rushed into the building, leaving me broken and all alone. So in my despair, my greatest hero finally broke me. I stood up crying and walked to the edge of the roof and jumped. Aunt Mitsuki had fallen to her knees at this point. As I knelt down and hugged her, I looked at Nizu, Aizawa, and Eri, and all looked ready to kill. I sighed as I continued to speak. Yet this universe saw fit to punish me even more. A black mist enveloped me in midair, and before I knew it I landed in a large dark room with a disfigured man in a suit with a respirator on smiling at me. "Izuku Midoriya, I am all for one. I have been watching you for some time, my boy. I've watched how everyone treats you. So now you see this world doesn't care for anyone but the powerful." He spoke about but might some before saying, "How would you like vengeance? To get them all back for the way you were cast aside for something beyond your control." I looked at him with his offered hand and shook my head. "Sorry, sir, but I don't want that. All I want is to save people. To help. To prove I can be a hero no matter if I am quirkless or not." Fo dropped his smile and gilded words to snarl at me. He snapped his fingers and several men appeared from a portal. He had them beat me within an inch of my life and said, "Listen here, you little SHT. You will join me whether you want to or not. I do not care about your dreams. You are a mere pawn for me to use against Toshinori Yagi." As he was screaming at me, a brilliant blue light filled the room. Suddenly a blonde-haired man carrying a huge sword and a black-haired girl with knuckle dusters appeared from it. I just knew they had to be with AFO and shut my eyes, begging for a quick death. Before I heard fighting, I opened my eyes and they were destroying the villain's thugs. They used different elemental attacks and even summoned creatures to help. I was in awe at their quirks. Finally they grabbed me and ran, healing me as we got far enough away. They introduced themselves as 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗟 and 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗟. They asked how I got in that situation and what those men with strange powers were. Confusing me, I said those were their quirks. They did not know what quirks were, which confused me. They asked our location and I said Japan. That is when they paled as tears filled their eyes. Cloud spoke. We couldn't save our friends. Sephiroth UBSTRD sent us to another planet. I will get back and kill you. Turns out they were from another world like ours, filled with magic but no quirks. I explained my history to the pair, and as they listened they began to cry and hug me. Unfamiliar with a hug, I panicked and tried to escape, thinking they wanted to kill me. After calming down they decided to take me and we would find a place to live. They even trained me to use their abilities and magic. After a few months they got married and adopted me. We opened a DLVOI service that does very well. I work as their DLVOI boy. Doing that I met Nizu here. 2 months ago I met this snowball Eri being chased by a Yakuza named Overhaul. He had been experimenting on her. Well, one thing led to another and I defeated him and healed Eri, then chose to adopt her. So Mitsuki, meet your grandniece Eri Strife. Aunt Mitsuki had at some point stood along with me, and after I spoke of my parents saving me, a smile appeared in her face. She turned to see Eri standing on the arm of the couch. "Hi pretty Auntie Mitsu, I am Eri Strife. Nice to meet you." She beamed at Mitsuki and then leapt from the couch into her arms. "Hi cutie. I am Mitsuki Bakugo. Your aunt. Wow, you're such a precious ball of sunshine," with her appealing smile. "I'm glad Izuku found you and saved you, little one." I smiled at that. "I'm too. More than you could ever know. She is the first person I saved with the strength I earned." Mitsuki looked at me with pride. "You grown into a wonderful young man, Izuku. I'm sure you'll be a great father." I teared up a bit as Eri smiled and yelled, "Papa is the best. He is so cool with his swords and stuff. I want to be just like him and save people too." I cried a bit and hugged her. "I'm sure you will be a great hero someday, my snowball. The best of the best, Eri." She giggled as I got back to my story. Anyway, yesterday I was on a picnic with Eri when Nizu messaged me requesting aid at the USJ. I got there but was too late. Katsuki was already dead by time I arrived. As were 2 other students and All Might. I managed to defeat all the villains, including 4 bioengineered beings made to kill All Might. I captured them all and healed the students and staff. Now I am going to replace All Might as the heroics teacher at UA. My parents will work there too. But I decided to come here for 3 reasons. 1. To atone for my past mistake of leaving you behind and not telling you about Katsuki's behavior. 2. To offer a chance. It is a long shot, but if my training goes well, I will unlock a spell that I can use to bring the dead back. The spell has limits, of course, but it should allow me to bring the students back to life. I won't be able to revive All Might due to his injury from 6 years ago. But I should, if all goes well, be able to revive the students. This revelation stunned everyone. Izuku. Why USS serious? Why you can do that? She asked as Nizu and Aizawa just sat mouths agape. Yes, Auntie, I can. I will as well. But understand, he will be made to pay for his crimes against me. I will try to make a deal keeping him out of prison, but he will be banned from every hero course. That I will not budge on. Is that acceptable? Mitsuki cried again. He needs to pay for actions. That I understand. I refuse to let him become a hero when he has been acting a villain all his life. Yes, Izuku, I accept. But what was your 3rd reason for coming? I smiled as I wiped away her tears. It's twofold. I missed you and I wish you to join me at UA since I have heard about you losing your job and Masaru passing away shortly after it disappeared. I figure you could help me take care of Eri as well as help with other things. We could discuss that later if you wish. She bear hugged me and Eri. If that rat is okay with it, then yes. I would love to, Izuku. We laugh as I turned to Nizu and glared at him with all my killer intent as he shivered and nodded his approval, and Aizawa began to have a logging fit. Problem child. You have got to teach me that. I laugh a bit. Before Nizu spoke finally. I do agree with everything Izuku has suggested. After all, it was due to my negligence that you lost your son. But for starters, while being a teacher, I feel it's better to place Izuku with the first years as an added layer of defense. You will be in the room next to his with a door leading between, so Eri and you guys can visit or what have you without exiting your rooms. The dorms will be finished by time school starts again. We can work out your job details in the meantime. Though I have a suggestion. Would it be alright if Mrs. Bakugo here stayed with you and your parents until then? So as to avoid the reporters after our announcements and press conference later today. I smile and fire off a text explaining things to Mom, and she agreed as she was so happy I finally met my aunt again. I can help you pack, Aunt Mitsuki, and we have the cutest little bodyguard to protect us on our way there. I said as Eri stood up straight, saluting with the most adorable serious face possible. Mitsuki laughed and hugged me as Nizu and Aizawa left. We began packing things up. Due to the living situation, she didn't have much to pack. I really am sorry, Izuku, she said out of nowhere. She smiled sadly with teary eyes as I finished packing the last thing. I should have known things were wrong between you, Katsuki, and your parents, but I just couldn't see it. I sighed as she started crying again. I walked over and hugged her. Auntie, you didn't know because I got very good at hiding it. Don't feel sorry for yourself nor blame yourself. We both know you raised Katsuki better. He decided on his own to do what he did. As did my SPRM and egg donors. I only wish things were different, but that's not reality. So cheer up and smile for me, Auntie. You've always had such a appealing smile, it always brightened my day. I say, flashing my own toothy grin. She blushed and began to laugh while saying, Wow, Izuku. Turning into quite the charmer, aren't you? He bet whoever your girlfriend is feels like the luckiest girl around. She said while teasing me. I blush a bit, but before I could answer, Eri spoke. Yeah, Mama Oka likes Papa's smile and nice talks. I pale a bit as Mitsuki was about to speak. I cover her mouth and go through a quick explanation. Oh, I got ya. But come on, Izuku, there must be someone out there for you. I slumped down a bit. I honestly doubt it. Between my quirk lessons and history of being abused, bullied, and neglected, I doubt any girl would want me. She puts her hands on my shoulders and stares at me with a serious face. Izuku, there's someone out there for everyone. Even you. Don't let your past control you. Have patience and in time you will find them. So buck up, Izuku-en. Now if Super Bodyguard Extraordinaire is ready, we should go meet your parents, right? I smile at the kind words as Eri jumps up. Yeah, Grandma and Grandpa always said Papa had an awesome auntie, so I know they will like you. I laugh as Aunt Mitsuki looks at me. He always. How often did you talk to them about me, Izu? I start shuffling my feet and blush a bit. Almost every day. Can you blame me? You were one of the only two people to ever care about me. I always told them about you and Uncle Masaru. More so after his passing during that villain attack. She blushed a bit before giggling. Does little Izu have a crush on his Auntie Mitsuki? I blush so much it's enough to produce light and steam as I became a stuttering mess. Making her and Eri laugh. Easy, Izu. I'm only teasing you. I sigh and droop down as we head outside. I use a mini spell on all her things, making them all fit in my pocket before we start walking to Fenrir. When we get there, Aunt Mitsuki is stunned. Holy CRP, Izu. That's one hell of a bike. But how are we all gonna ride it? I stop and think before I realize. Oh, why yeah, I forgot. Because of how powerful it is, you will have to sit in front of me and hold Eri while I drive us there. I say, blushing wildly. Realization dawns on Mitsuki's face before she nods and we get on. I start it up and let it roar a bit before we take off at high speeds. Weaving through traffic, I make it to a stoplight and Auntie Mitsuki jumps a bit. Izu, what? I stop as I suddenly realize when I look down. So sorry, Auntie. I didn't plan that. She laughs a bit, obviously flustered. It's okay, Izu. Between the vibrations and your age, yeah, we will go with age. Just let's get there so you can put your sword up. I blanch as suddenly Eri confused goes, but Papa doesn't even have his swords, Auntie. Mitsuki laughs nervously before she can speak again. I'm able to drive off again. Only having about 30 panic attacks along the way. After a few minutes we reach the house. Aunt Mitsuki hops off with Eri, who runs inside, not even bothering to take her helmet off. As Mitsuki removed hers and handed it to me, still with flushed cheeks. I stand up, but as I do, Mitsuki notices the bulge and begins sweating as I try to cover it as best as I can. So sorry, Auntie. I didn't mean for that. She laughs it off a bit before giving me a hug, saying it's okay. Just natural responses as we head inside. I take her to the guest room and enlarge her things back to normal size before putting them up. As we step out, Mom and Dad are there and they begin to talk with Aunt Mitsuki as I excuse myself and head to my room where Eri is playing still with the helmet on. Eri, did you forget something? I ask as I go to the bed and take my jacket off, leaving me in just a sleeveless undershirt. Eri raises a brow and tilts her head before I tap my head to signal the helmet is on her head. Oh, I did. I'm sorry, Papa. I keep forgetting this. I laugh as we hear Aunt Mitsuki and Mom's voices by my door. I stand up and go to open it. They're both there, a bit teary-eyed. As Mom pulls me into a hug. I never would have thought you had the idea to get your auntie a job, Izuku. That's awesome. She will be staying at UA and working there too. I'm so proud of you, kiddo. She says as she steps back with a wink for some reason. Next, Mitsuki hugged me, thanking me again, then whispered in my ear. Izu, your sword's still up. I release the hug and jump back, a blushing mess as Mom cackles wildly. Anyway, we have a couple hours before the press conference. You two should probably get some rest until then. Eri wanna play with Grandma. Eri squeals and runs up, giving me and Aunt Mitsuki hugs before running off with Mom. You know, if I didn't know any better, Izu, with the way she acts sometimes, I'd swear she was your biological kid. She says as she looks at me, then for some reason starts to look away. Dang. Little cinnamon roll, you got jacked from training with your parents. I laugh as I then realize I was only in a tank top. Yeah. Well, years of hellish training will do that to ya. Anyway, we should rest a bit. You definitely need it. She smiles as she sits on my bed looking at the swords and fighting gloves on my wall. You know, you always did have a fascination with sword-wielding heroes, the most. More so than but for some reason you idolized him more. I don't get it. She says as she pats the bed. I sit next to her as I think back to the various sword heroes. Well, yeah, but he did more than they did without a weapon, so I dunno, I thought it was more honorable or something like that anyway. Boy, was I surprised he turned out to be a deech. She laughs a bit as she leans on my shoulder. Yeah. Wish you could bring him back so I can kill him for that a few times. She says with a snarl. I chuckled at that. I meant what I said, Mitsuki. I will bring Katsuki and the other students back. Though we both know how Katsuki will take it. She snorts as she scowls deep as possible and with a gravelly voice. You think you're better than me? Ugh, Deku looking down on me. She says as I fall back laughing harder than I have in years. Yeah, pretty much. She chuckles as she gets up and heads to the door. Press up, little Izu. We'll talk more later. I set my alarm and lay down falling asleep as I felt a huge weight off my conscience. I should have met with her sooner. Though knowing she still cares about me warms my heart a bit. I will keep my promise no matter how Katsuki takes it afterwards. Before long sleep takes me. Izuku's POV. I wake up a little before we have to head to the press conference, and as I walk past the guest room, I hear it. The sounds I dreaded make happen for the past 10 years. The crying of Auntie Mitsuki. DMNU, Katsuki. How could you do all that to little Izu? He was always so kind to you. To everyone. He never hurt anyone or wished harm on them. I was sad I lost you. But little Izu returned to me. I demanded to know. I was so stupid. I never saw the harm you were doing. Or his parents. Damn it. Why did I fail? What did I do wrong? I taught you better than this, you ungrateful arrogant brat. Yet after all you did. Please. Izuku manned up. He will bring you back. You will pay for your actions. And then you deal with me. I open the door after knocking. To see Auntie Mitsuki in a towel holding a picture. I panic. I'm so sorry I heard crying and you saying stuff and I'll be right out, city, so sorry. I slam the door as I am blushing and steaming. After a couple of minutes, Auntie Mitsuki comes out flushed. Trying to see Auntie naked, oh such a bad boy Izu. I fight the urge to blush and grab her hands. Auntie, look at me. I place a hand on her chin and move her head softly until she is looking into my eyes. I told you. You're not to blame. I remember all you taught us. You raised Katsuki properly, and he arrogantly chose a different path. Neither you nor uncle are to blame. The only one responsible for Katsuki's actions was Katsuki. You hear? She tears up, but she sees no hate or blame in my eyes. Only truth. Izuku. I hear you. I know you don't blame me or hate me. Booty just it's so frustrating to learn all these things after finally seeing you again. I hug her and rub circles in her back as she cries. Auntie, I have a request. She sniffles as she looks at me. What is it, Izuku? I smile softly. Join us during the conference. If anyone gets out of line, they deal with me. You being there. Telling our story will aid all of us. You, my parents, Eri, and me. I know I appear calm, Auntie, but I'm scared. I know it's dumb, but I am afraid I won't be able to convince them to keep UA open without you and my parents and Eri there with me. So please, can you help me stay strong and do this? She blinks a few times before hugging me tight. Izuku, you have become what I told you all those years ago. A strong, kind, brave boy who will save everyone with a smile. Besides, you know you can just call me Mitsuki, right, Izu? I smile at her. Thank you very much, Auntie. Hee, not gonna lie, I missed you so much. Uncle, too anyway. I'll work on calling you Mitsuki if you want, though, Auntie. I make no promises that I can do it. Hee. I chuckle softly as we let go and head to Eri and my parents. Hey guys, can you take Eri with you? I need to stop somewhere with Auntie Mitsuki and do something, then I will meet you there. Dad laughs. We will be stuck with the cutest ball of happiness ever. Twist my arm, why don't ya? Don't be late, Izu. I smile as they head out. Before sitting down as Mitsuki sat beside me. What is it, Izuku? I sigh before I answer. I am gonna be revealing a lot of baggage today. I'll need to tell things that paint Katsuki in a bad light so they can understand my side of things. Will you be alright, Auntie? She looks at me with a quivering lip. I know, and I will be there to try and take the burden off you. I smile warmly at her words and permission. Thanks. We should probably go. We hop on Fenrir as Aunt Mitsuki smirks at me. Try not to pop up Nur again, Izu. I blush, looking embarrassed. I said I was sorry. It's not easy to control teenage hormones with you in my lap on a vibrating motorcycle. Okay, Auntie. She cackles. Oh, I don't mind, Izuku. I know you're a teenage boy full of hormones. So don't be embarrassed. It's fine. I smile as she puts the helmet on. I start it up, and we drive down towards the press conference. I head to Aldra Elementary School, and as we stop, I am very flustered. Hee, is your PP always so active, Izu? Auntie Mitsuki teases. It was even stabbier than last time. I get dark red and super embarrassed. Well, it wouldn't if you didn't purposefully grind your butt on me as was driving. She laughs at that as we walk up to the rooftop. So, here was where you spent every lunch. I smile sadly. Yeah. It was the one spot Katsuki wouldn't bother me at during lunch. I could just come here and think, eat in peace and work on my notebooks. I sit against the wall and look out at the skyline, sighing. I tried everything to earn some semblance of respect from him. I survived everything he threw at me, beaut in his eyes. She placed a hand on my shoulder. Izuku, there's just some people in this world who can't respect anyone. Unfortunately, my brat was one to you, and once you bring him back, we will put him through hell until he learns that lesson. I wish he treated you differently, but life can't be changed as our pasts are permanent. I nod as I think on her words. I know, Mitsuki, but knowing doesn't remove the longing for change. She smiles and then asks, you're really afraid, aren't you, about how people will react and treat you once you give your story? I flinch at her questions. Yes, I am. I can handle any battle, defeat any foe in a fight. But my past has caused so much trauma on my emotions and mental state. But that won't stop me. We need to do this to change society and its skewed opinion on quirks and quirkless, as well as lessen the backlash on UA. She listens on. Why are we really here, Izu? I look at her for a second. I knew nothing got past you. Give me a second. I stand up and go to a vent. Opening it up, I reach inside and pull out a small box. I left this here for in case I couldn't handle this hellish world anymore. The day Katsuki told me to take a swan dive, I came up here. In this box are letters to you, Masaru, Katsuki, and my SPRM and egg donors. But I couldn't jump, because I had thoughts of disappointing you and Uncle. She smiled softly. I'm glad you didn't take your life, Izu. Even though you'd be at peace. I couldn't imagine a world without the ray of light known as Izuku Midoriya scratch that now it is Izuku strife. I laugh a bit. Thanks, Mitsuki. Guess we better go now. She smiles sadly. We should. We arrive in time, and we get ushered onto the stage. Dad and Mom to my right, Aunt Mitsuki to my left, and Eri on my lap. Nizu explains about what happened that allowed villains in and talks about but Might fighting hard but dying at the villain's hands. Well, if All Might was killed, then how did you all survive and capture the villains? Asked a reporter. Before Nizu could speak, I answered the question. That would be because of me. I was contacted by Nizu to help the students. But by the time I arrived, All Might was already dead. I killed the bioengineered creatures that killed All Might. Captured the villains. Healed all the injured and left. Everyone was stunned into silence before a female reporter spoke. Well, who the hell are you, and how did Nizu contact you? I laughed sadly at her words and sighed before I answered her. To know who I am, you need to listen to a story. First, do you really want to know? I ask as the media goes silent again before she speaks once more. Yes, we have every right to know. I sigh and look at my family and Nizu before I start. I ask that no one interrupt me. Wait until I finish, then I will answer questions. The reporters argued for a moment, then agreed, so I began to speak. Then let me tell you the story of a little boy called Deku. The word Deku means useless or worthless. This little boy was smart, kind, and brave, full of determination, and had a very happy life with loving parents. His mom's best friend and her husband became his aunt and uncle. They cherished him as much as their own son, and he himself had a dream. A longing to be a hero and save people with a smile just like All Might. But one day, after all his classmates turned 4 and got their quirk, he was taken to a specialist. That day, the little boy learned that not all men are created equal even in this world where we're gifted power simply by being born. But not this little boy. A 9-letter word ruined his life for years. His parents took him home that night and left him in his room as he cried, watching videos of All Might. Eventually, his door opened, and his aunt walked in as the boy turned to see her. Tears running down, and he asked a question that made her heart break. "And even without a quirk, can I be a hero?" His aunt rushed over and cried as she hugged him. After a moment, she looked him in his eyes that were once so bright and full of life, now dead inside. "Nephew, you art a kind, smart, brave boy with a heart of gold. So yes, you can be a hero even without a quirk." The boy cried. I'm so happy he could achieve his dream. Until school started again. His classmates began to bully him, mentally and physically. His aunt's own son, his one and only friend, led the charge. He bullied him the worst. But at age 7 it changed. It got even worse. They started using their quirks on him. His former best friend had an explosion quirk. So scared of his friend and how everyone treated him and turned their backs on him, he made a choice. He refused to go visit his aunt and uncle. Out of fear, the only 2 people who cared for this boy would do the same if they found out how their son treated him. So, for years, he was all alone. Alone in hell. I say as tears flow from my eyes and my family's. I take a breath and continue as the reporters look on, some sad, others smirking. At age 10 his parents noticed him after 6 years of this boy having to cook for himself, treat his own wounds, get jobs to pay for anything he needed. His aunt called to wish him a happy birthday, angering his mother. She went to the kitchen and she grabbed a knife, walked up to the boy, and stabbed him in his lung. Smiling the whole time, calling him a worthless, quirkless freak who should just die. She pulled the blade out and just walked away as if nothing had happened. That was the 5th time he was nearly killed. He was luckily healed by a neighbor with a healing quirk. But not completely, as someone said the one word to make her stop. Quirkless. She kicked him a few times, saying she should have let him die. That would be the last time anyone had helped him for years. By the last day of elementary school, he had survived hell. It nearly broke him, but the entire time he always smiled as he knew, if I can just hold out a little longer, I can join UA and become a hero. That will make everything worth it. He would always say. By that time he was nearly killed 7 times. His body was littered in scars. But this day would break that sweet, kind, brave boy. His friend, angered that he would try to join UA, burned his notebook filled with analyses on heroes. Then he slammed him in a wall and burnt his shoulder, belittling him more before he started to walk away. He stopped though and with a wicked smile told that boy, "You know, there just might be a way for you to become a hero." For a second, that boy let down his guard and asked how. Only for his friend to say, "Take a swan, dive off the roof, and pray for a quirk in the next life." That almost broke him. He nearly lost hope then and there. Deku then did what he always did. He cried and cried before he smiled and grabbed his notebook. He left the school and ended up being attacked by the sludge villain. Yes, that one who attacked 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘, the quirkless Deku's former best friend. As the boy clawed at the sludge, he was suffocating, but Deku was used to this pain, and as the light began to fade, he heard All Might use a Texas smash. All Might saved the boy. He then captured the sludge villain in soda bottles. Woke the boy up. The boy was gonna ask for an autograph, but All Might already gave him one. Finally, the little boy had to ask the one question he needed answered. Surely All Might would tell him the words he needed to hear. But All Might was pressed for time. He tried to leap away, but that boy, in a moment of recklessness, grabbed his leg as they flew through the air. All Might realized it when high in the sky and told the boy to let go. The boy, not being brain dead, said, "If I do that, I'll die. We're flying." All Might realized that and landed them on a roof. Now, the boy could finally get his answer. All Might scolded him and was about to leave when, "Can I be a hero like you even without a quirk?" he asked as All Might started to produce steam all over his body. "I'm just a normal kid without powers. Everyone tells me I can't and even bully me, but I always smile and keep going. So can I ever become someone like you?" he asks with a fire in his eyes. I take some deep breaths as more reporters listen to my story. I smiled sadly. As he looked to All Might, he saw was steam. But once it cleared up, a skeletal man stood there. Scared it was an imposter, the boy panicked before All Might said it was him and showed his chest. Gross, right, boy? Well, I got this fighting a dangerous supervillain. I only lived 'cause my quirk and others with healing quirks. I can only be in hero form for 3 hours a day. The rest of the time I look like this. So, no, a quirkless freak like you can't be a hero. You're worthless. So go crawl under a rock and die. He said to the boy, breaking him before he ran off. Some #1 greatest hero ever, right? Well, the boy, after all the hell he suffered, he made a choice. He walked to the edge. With a smile on his face, he jumped, welcoming death's embrace. But as he fell, a big smile on his face, a misty portal opened up. Not to hell, but to a man with a horribly scarred head and wicked smile. This man was All for One, the greatest villain on earth. He could steal any quirk, keep it or give it away. He told the boy secrets about All Might. You see, All Might was once quirkless 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗟𝗏. But he was gifted his quirk. A special quirk was accidentally created by AFO. 200 years ago, AFO had a quirkless brother who had a great sense of justice. He refused to join AFO on his quest for world domination. AFO forced a stockpile quirk on his brother. But his brother had a secret. He had a quirk after all, and it fused with the stockpiler. His quirk was the ability to pass on his quirk. If someone he wanted to have the quirk ingested his DNA, they'd gain the quirk. So for generations, 7 people before All Might had the quirk and passed it on. After telling the boy this, he says, All Might could have just given you his quirk, but no, he had to destroy you. So boy, if I gave you a very powerful quirk, what would you do? The boy thought for a moment before he spoke. I'd use it to become the greatest hero ever and save everyone with a smile. He said, infuriating AFO. The man summoned dozens of men and told them to beat the boy but not kill him. I will enslave you, boy, and use you to kill All Might. After that, I will rule this world. He said as the men attacked. They nearly killed the boy, who finally accepted death. When suddenly the brightest light lit up the room. From it fell a man with blonde spiky hair and a huge sword, as well as a woman with long black hair and onyx eyes wielding knuckle dusters. Seeing the boy, they immediately attacked, but even though they could kill AFO, they didn't. They grabbed the boy after severely wounding AFO and ran. They ran far before finally using something to heal the boy. They stood him up and asked him what happened, why was he there, and being beaten. So the boy, who no longer cared, told them everything. Once he finished speaking, the two, looking confused, asked him, who is All Might and what's a quirk? Also, where are we? This shocked the boy as he explained what quirks were and how All Might was the #1 hero in Japan. The man was very confused and asked what Japan was, and suddenly the woman realized it. They were no longer on their world. See, they came from a world much like our own, but quirks don't exist there. Magic does, but not quirks. The boy looked on in confusion. When the pair stopped crying, they asked the boy if he had anyone to look after him. The boy just sighed and said no one. The pair tearfully hugged little Deku, but by this point, he was so touch-starved he had thought they were trying to strangle him and fought the hug. They let go and calmed him, explaining they were not going to hurt him. Afterwards, they asked if he would like to find a place and live with them. He smiled and agreed, but then the man said, we will train you and have you earn our power and our magics. If we do this, what will you do? He smiled, saying he'd use it to help people and become a hero. They smiled at him before the woman knelt down and said, then Izuku Midoriya, you can become a hero even with no quirk. That boy cried, and as he did, the inner fire awoke in his eyes once more. I stood up and took off my jacket and shirt, revealing my heavily scarred body to the world. I am Izuku Strife, formerly Izuku Midoriya. I am the strongest being on this planet. The couple to my right are Cloud and Tifa Strife, my adoptive parents and the second and third strongest beings on Earth. This little girl is my adopted daughter, Eri. We are the Strifes, and we will protect UA and all its students. As I will be the new heroics instructor, as well as teach other classes such as battle tactics, quirk analysis, and materia training. Materia is how I use magic. I know not if it works with those with quirks, but I know it works with quirkless. If any quirkless can reach UA, come. We will admit you into class if you are proven quirkless. I will make you heroes. My parents will be the security for UA. Listen well, villains. If you attack again, you will deal with the 3 strongest beings alive and be found wanting. The reporters exploded into a frenzy, asking questions of me and 𝗍𝗍𝗓. The boy speaks the truth. We found evidence to prove all he spoke. I will be releasing it all to the public soon. One reporter stood up and asked for proof of the strife's strength, and 𝗍𝗍𝗓 played the footage of the USJ incident. Name one hero who could have done that well against one of those Nomu creatures. All Might was killed easily by them, and this quirkless boy, everyone underestimates, defeated them all, and all those villains with only 10% of his max power. Also, he rescued the 9th OFA user whose name we will not reveal just yet until they are ready. One reporter, a quirkist, roared out that I was a liar and Mitsuki exploded with fury. How dare you call my nephew a liar, you pathetic beach? He may be many things, but a liar is not one of them. You see that little girl? He rescued her from Yakuza leader overhaul by himself and led to the Kapoor of the entire organization. Every member. Why? Because he found her one day and promised to save her. He will never lie to anyone because he can't. It's in his nature to save and be honest. Not a liar craving attention. If he says he is now the strongest, guess what, beach? That means he really is the strongest. You're as foolish and pathetic as my son was. My son died in one hit from AU because his arrogant foolish pride told him nothing could be stronger than him. I hate what my son did to Izuku. I despise that, but listen up. Izuku in a month or 2 will gain the ability to bring people back to life, and even after everything Katsuki did, he promised to revive him. That's who Izuku is. He helps when he can, no matter what. Unlike but Might and most of you can't that pose as heroes. She roared at them until I pulled the mic from her hand and gave her a hug as she shook with fury. Everything she just said is true. I suggest you never speak ill of me like that again, child, or I won't stop her from reaching over and throttling you. I stood up, put my clothes back on, and took Eri and Mitsuki away, letting my parents and 𝗍𝗍𝗓 deal with the rest. An hour later the conference ended and 𝗍𝗍𝗓 began to laugh as the Hero Public Safety Commission sent messages threatening him unless he fired my family immediately they'd take action against us. He called them up and delivered some shocking news. You have just lost your job as the Prime Minister saw what you sent, and I gave him all the dirt on you all and All Might, revealing the truth of things. We heard him say as we all began laughing. 𝗍𝗍𝗓 also better explained my new job and handed me and my parents the forms for hero licenses to us. How will we get them though without the HPSC permission? 𝗍𝗍𝗓 laughed. All I need is 3 pro heroes to sign off on it. I have 12, so you all will be getting your licenses. I just need you each to choose hero names and sign the forms, and then in a day's time you get your licenses. We all smiled. Oh, also 𝗍𝗍𝗓, what job will Mitsuki have at UA? He laughed. Dorm mother and Eri's caretaker when she is not with you due to class, if that suits Eri. Eri smiled. Yay, I'd like that, but why would Papa not be with me? I patted her head. Well, Eri, occasionally our class will be needing to do dangerous training, so I would need someone to watch you and help teach you things when those classes take place. Eri nodded as she walked to Mitsuki and held her arms up, indicating to be picked up and hugged. Mitsuki smiled brightly and did as Eri wanted. We spoke for a bit before heading home to await decisions from the school committee, Prime Minister, and students' parents on dorm situation. Time skip costs, why not, you know. Days later we had finally gotten all the students back and the dorms built. I, along with Mitsuki and Eri, moved into the 1A dorms as planned before the 3 of us headed to my new office to await the first hero class of my new job. When the time came we walked to the class and I opened the door to reveal the 3 of us to class 1A. Whoa, it really is him, the guy from USJ and the news. Screamed the electric user Kaminari. Yes, it's really me. Hello again all, and hello to you 3 new members of Class 1A. Hitoshi Shinso, Sho Ishida, and Nito Minoma. I said with a smile as I noticed Ochaco Uraraka. Eri saw her and ran to her. Hi Mama Oka. She squealed innocently as I blanched and Mitsuki sweat dropped, causing the girls of class to freak out. After I calmed everyone down, I explained the situation before suddenly 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 stood up and yelled for attention to focus on him. This is a hero school. You don't belong here, and neither does this little girl or that villain Bakugo's terrible mother. I smiled as I walked towards him with my eyes closed. As I opened them, I unleashed an extreme amount of killer intent. Listen up, you stupid fool. I am the materia hero, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘. This little girl is my adopted daughter who will live with me in your guys' dorm. Bakugo may be a villainous punk, but if you ever insult Mitsuki again or make my daughter cry, I will personally rip your legs off and then expel you. Just for that you are no longer class R. Congratulations Momo Yaoyorozu on becoming class REP, I said with a powerful venomous voice. After calming down I said, Tsuyu Azui would make an excellent vice. Now apologize to my daughter and Mitsuki former class rep. Then sit down and do not speak for the remainder of class. I pick up my daughter and console her as Ida bites his tongue and apologizes to her and Mitsuki. Good. Now for today I will inform you of a few things. Since the sports festival is coming up, you all already know you will be given time off to train. Before that though, I will help you all improve your quirks, so get dressed in your gym uniforms. Go to where you did the quirk assessment tests and do so quickly. They all stood and took off to the get ready. My word, Iza, did you have to scare them that bad on your first day? Though I thank you for sticking up for Eri and me. I smiled before handing Eri to her. Well, the arrogant kid needed a lesson in manners, didn't he? Besides, nobody talks bad about you or makes Eri cry. 'Cause if I find out, I will put them in their place. Come on, let's go wait for them. We left and played with Eri until the students arrived. Momo raised her hand. Yes, Yaoyorozu. She smiled a bit with a concerned look on her face. Strife Sensei. I don't mean to be rude or upset you, but how can you help us with our quirks when you are quirkless? I smile. Thank you, Ms. Yaoyorozu. You did not anger or offend me. But let me let you all in on a secret. I'm smarter than Nizu and quirks are my specialty. Yaoyorozu, explain your quirk to the class and I bet in less than 5 minutes I can open your eyes to my ability to help you all. She nodded and spoke. The quirk I have is creation. With it I can produce anything as long as I know its molecular structure using the lipids in my body. The class all looked on and began to understand her quirk was powerful. Maybe not flashy but strong. Yet I was about to show them how I can make it stronger still. Yes, a very useful quirk and strong. Stronger than you even realize. See, you only produce solid objects, but did you know that your very description of the quirk tells you that you can do so much more? She looked confused. What do you mean, Strife Sensei? I laugh as walk about 20 m away and use magic to make a fire. Anything. Tell me, is water a thing? She opens her eyes wide. Wait, do you mean? I nodded. Yes, now come here and I will show you. She walks over as I hold out my hand over the fire, palm down. Now do this and use your quirk as I know you know the molecular structure of water and put out my fire. She slowly starts to do as I ask, but before she can I hear one of the new students shriek. Haha, so you mean the class rep of 1A was so stupid she needed a quirkless loser to teach her things about it. I grab Yaoyorozu's hand and indicate to wait. Oh, I know you did not just say that, Monoma. He sneers at me. I did. What are you gonna do about it, freak? I see Eri walk up to him and kick him in the shin. Don't be mean to Papa, you poopy head. She yells, causing the rest of class to laugh. As Mitsuki goes to pick her up, she looks Monoma in the eye and slaps the PSS out of him. He glares at her and raises his hand to slap her. In a flash I stand before him glaring at him. Nito Monoma quirk copy. You are useless without having others to give you their power. You are prideful and arrogant. But I did not know you were brain dead. You were about to attack a UA employee. You insulted a teacher. So guess what's about to happen, little man? I say, glaring at the boy who started to sweat bullets. Nothing, 'cause I'm Richu Deku. Bing. In a flash of light and massive thunder roll, he was sent flying, burning to a crisp. Everyone froze wide-eyed as I walked over to him. What's your money going to do now, boy? You're knocking on death's door. Right now only I can heal you. But I think I should just let you die. If I am a Deku and I did this to you, what's that make you? A spoiled, arrogant, mouthy brat who chose suicide by hero. So after I heal you, if the first words out of your mouth are not an apology to me and a vow to never act as such again, I will continue using my magic to bring you to the brink of death and heal you until you do. Am I understood? I ask as he is howling in pain. He yells yes, so I heal him. But the fool didn't listen. I'll report you to 𝗔𝗧𝗟𝗃 quirkless. Before he can finish, I use fire to scorch his body in third-degree burns and then heal him again. Who do you think gave me permission to treat you as such? You all are here to be heroes. True heroes never insult others unnecessarily. They have compassion and treat people kindly. You do not, villain. So what's your answer? He glares at me. F you fake but peace. I hit him with bio to poison him as he begins to turn purple and cough up. Build. After I heal you this last time, you will pick your sorry butt up. You will walk to class. You will pick up your things. Go to 𝗔𝗧𝗟𝗃 and be expelled. I heal him and point to the classroom. Go now. No more words from you. He starts to cry as he glares at me before running off. I turn to face the class. Yes, I am quirkless. I spent my entire life being abused, nearly killed, and neglected. I have had to fight tooth and nail every day to survive. I had to learn to take care of myself because no one else would. 𝗔𝗧𝗟 knows this, and if any of you paid attention to the news, you would too. I will not allow any to treat me as such ever again. If you have a problem with this or my methods, leave and never return to UA. I say, glaring at them all. None seem to have a problem as they all stay. Thank you. Now back to the lesson. Where were we? Mitsuki laughs. You were teaching 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗃 how to use her quirk differently, remember? I smile and laugh. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Now let's continue. I walk to 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗃, who looks a bit shy but starts to reach out and hold her palm above the fire. She activates her quirk and water begins to shoot from her hand. What? You mean I could always do this? She yells, shocked as tears form in her eyes. Anything doesn't mean only physical objects, 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗃. You can create any gas, plasma, liquid, or solid object once you learn its molecular structure. I say, smiling as the entire class looks on in shock and awe at how I did as promised. In under 5 minutes I proved to them my skill, as well as made 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗃 seem even more OP than before. Now I will do my best to help you all. Take Azui for instance. She can camouflage herself and 𝗧𝗃 can make herself visible. I will help everyone learn how to maximize their quirk's potentials. So class, branch off into groups based on your quirk category and let's get started. I say as they all smile and cheer except Todoroki and 𝗔𝗪𝗱. Todoroki, is something the matter? He looks at me with a scowl. Why would I do that when you're only going to tell me to? Use endeavors flames. I sigh. Class, do as asked. 𝗔𝗪𝗱, speak with Mitsuki and Eri as I know you have doubts and Mitsuki knows what I want to have you work on. Todoroki, come with me to 𝗔𝗧𝗟𝗃's office. We need to speak to you about your family issues. If any students need assistance, Mitsuki here knows my lessons for each, and if you treat her nicely, the dorm mother of 1A will help you. But be warned, she will tell me about how you interact, so be on your best behavior. I get them to do as asked before I place a hand on Todoroki's right shoulder as he wasn't moving. Shoto, Todoroki, we will make your father pay for his sins against you and your family, but I'd rather discuss this in private, so please do as I ask, okay? He looks scared before speaking. How do you know? What will you do? I smile softly at him. Don't be afraid of me, Shoto. I understand and I will do all I can to help you, so let's go and you will see what we will do. We slowly walk to 𝗔𝗧𝗟𝗃's office as Eri waves to me and I wave back. Family can do the most damage to us, wouldn't you agree? He sighs. I saw your story, but I was foolish in thinking you would be just like him and demand I use his flames. I laugh. Shoto, you have a genius-level intellect, but you're an idiot. They're not his flames and your ice is not your mother's. Neither parent commands them, only you do. The minute you realize this is the moment your power will increase tenfold. You are strong. Very strong. But your anger clouds your judgment. Hopefully I can help you with that and we can all see you become a hero that surpasses your father and even but might symbol of peace illusion. I say as we walk through the halls. We get stopped by a blur and a sudden weight slams into Todoroki, knocking him down. Well, now I knew you had fangirls, Shoto, but can't you wait until after school to get fresh with them? I ask as I giggle. On top of 𝗧𝗱 with her melons in his face was a tall girl with blonde hair and glasses. She squeaks and jumps up blushing madly. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean for that to happen, just I am lost. I was told by 𝗎𝐻 to report to class 1A a few moments ago, but I can't seem to find them. I giggled at that as 𝗧𝗱 stayed on the ground. I think you broke him, Mississippi. She looks at me, and though I know who it is, I let her introduce herself. Oh, I am Melissa 𝗓𝗓, daughter of David 𝗓𝗓. Very nice to meet you, 𝗧𝗧 sensei, and my sincere apologies, 𝗧𝗱-san. I laugh as 𝗧𝗱 shakes his head and stands up. It's fine, he says as I place a hand on his shoulder. 𝗧𝗱, head to 𝗎𝐻 and tell him what I told you. I'll take her to the students and come back to meet you there. He nods and heads off as I start walking to where the rest of class is. Come with me, Miss 𝗓𝗓. Also, after class you will move into the expelled students' dorm. Right now I am having the students realize the max potential of their quirks. But tell me, I stop as I look her in the eyes. How does it feel to be the first quirkless student to join the hero course? She freezes before speaking. How did you know? I smiled. You're in my materia class set for later today. I recognized you, it's why I stepped out of the way and let you tackle 𝗧𝗱. The boy needed something to take his mind off a personal issue. I'd say nice work, but try not to do that again, please. She blushed as we kept walking. We made it to class to see Mitsuki helping a lot of the students out. Class 1A, please gather around. I would like to introduce to you the new member replacing Nito Monoma. They all looked at us shocked as they suddenly realized I really did expel Monoma. First Kaminari, that's not where her eyes are, so please focus. Now this is Melissa 𝗓𝗓, daughter of David 𝗓𝗓, one of the few students in my new course. They all looked around as Melissa waved at them and smiled. Hello all. I am glad to join you, although wish under better circumstances, she said as she rubbed the back of her head. The class all introduced themselves as turned to head back on my way to 𝗎𝐻's office. I hear, 𝗓𝗓-san, what's your quirk? I stop and turn. I see her tense up and can tell she feels awkward about it. Melissa 𝗓𝗓 is quirkless like me. Yet she is one of the best inventors in Island. I will be teaching her the magic I know and how to fight. Treat her well or face Mitsuki's rage. Fair warning, unlike the Pomeranian, Mitsuki is not all bark. Then you will face my wrath upon return. Understood? They all agreed and began to speak with the two women about their quirks and Melissa herself as I smile and head off once more towards 𝗎𝗍's office. SPOV, I sat on the bed in the hospital after having watched the news story about the boy who was just 15 years old tell his story and reveal facts that even All Might was a terrible person. I sighed thinking of my sons and daughter, wishing I could escape this place and take them away from 𝗓𝗓. Maybe if I could arrange a talk with that boy, he could help. Just then a knock on the door pulls me from my thoughts. Enter, I say as I watch what appears to be a homeless man with a scarf enter my room. He looks angry and sad, but familiar. Oh, that's right, he was at that news conference but was in a suit and tie with his hair pulled back. Hello. WW, who are you? Why are you here? I ask, scared that maybe 𝗓𝗓 sent him. Rei Todoroki, I am your son Shoto's homeroom teacher at UA. My name is Shoyuta Aizawa. He says as I begin having hope that just maybe I can escape 𝗓𝗓. ISC. But why come here? He smiles at me. Well, you see, we got a new teacher. I'm sure you saw him in the news. A young boy Shoto's age. I just got a message from Izuku, he had to take Shoto to 𝗎𝗍's office. Right now he is talking about what 𝗓𝗓 did to you and unfortunately your kids. He says, looking angry. I get scared, very scared. What is going to happen and now? Did 𝗓𝗓 pay you to kill me? He shakes his head. No, but I may kill him. They told me a little of what he did to you specifically. We need not go into details, but I am here to escort you to UA's 1A dorm by the request of one Izuku 𝗧𝗧. There you will stay until we handle endeavor. Is this acceptable? I start to cry, smiling. Why you mean it? Truly I can leave. I say, letting hope flare within me. He smiles again. Yes. We will take you to meet Shoto and Izuku will be placed as your guard as he is currently there to protect everyone. He will not tell Shoto of you coming. We want to surprise the boy. He needs it as he has borne the weight of Endeavor for too long. Currently only Fuyumi lives with Endeavor. She is going to be moved as well without Endeavor's knowledge. You two will live in the room of Mitsuki Bakugo, the current dorm mother of 1A. We expanded her room to accommodate you all. There's a door leading straight to Izuku Strife's room, so if anything happened he can get to you three immediately. I have not known that boy long, but he is strong. Very strong. As well, he has a very strong sense of justice, so I am 100% sure if anything happens you all will be safe. So dry your eyes, Rei Todoroki, your nightmare is almost over. He says as he hands me a handkerchief. Himura. Call me Rei Himura. I will never go by Todoroki again. I say as happiness and hope flood over my body and I stand up. He smiles. Very well, Rei Himura. It's good to see that light in your eyes. Let's see if we can instill it into your kids' eyes as well. He says as he hands me a suitcase with some clothes that should fit me. Thank you, Mr. Aizawa. He snorts. Just Aizawa works. As Mr. Aizawa is what my students call me. Feels weird being called that by an adult. He says as he steps out, allowing me to change. He may seem cold, but he's actually very kind. I say aloud before I change clothes. I hope Shoto isn't angry with me still. Oh, how will I ever gain his forgiveness? Maybe the dorm mother can help me. I ramble before I exit the room and walk with Aizawa to my future. Izuku's POV, I see. Thank you, Aizawa. Report to 1A dorm once you get here, then my office. Goodbye. Says Nizu. I look at Shoto, who is trying to hold it together as best he can. Don't worry, Shoto Todoroki. He will never harm another member of your family again. I will see to that personally. Nizu is going to find the evidence. Now if you think you can go on, please continue. Shoto nods his head. I can see his determination to finish this so he can get away from his personal demon. After the stuff with Mother and Tuya comes what he did to Fuyumi, big sister. Like my mother before she went mad, Fuyumi is so polite and kind to everyone. She tries her best to fill the role of both mother and sister, taking care of Natsuo and me. After Natsuo moved on to college, it's just her and me there until now. As kids she didn't have a strong quirk, so she was seen as useless to Endeavor. I take a sharp inhale as I try holding back my rage. He wasn't as rough with her from what she said, but after Mother was thrown into the hospital he began to abuse her too. Forcing her to cook and clean everything and beating her if it didn't meet his requirements or tastes. But worst thing he did was that broke the boy. Tears began falling hard as he began having a panic attack. I texted my mom to get to Nizu's office now. Before I grabbed him. I know what you're going to say. But listen to me, Todoroki, none of this is on you. I will personally beat your old man into the ground, but right now you need to calm down. I'm getting you someone to help with that. Breathe for me. Look at me. Focus only on breathing and looking at me. Nothing else matters right now, you understand? He nods as tears fall and he tries hard to do what I ask, but I can see this boy is on the verge of shutting down. Just then the door flings open and my mother comes flying in, fists ready. She sees what's going on and understands why I messaged her. Young one, look at me. She says in a calm voice with a smile as she steps beside him. What is your name? He looks at her, still breathing heavy and crying. Says Shoto, is all he gets out before another wave of panic sets in. She wraps him in a hug. Listen, Shoto. No matter the problem, if you hold it in like this it only gets worse. I don't know the situation, but my guess is it's incredibly painful for you to cause this reaction, right? Shoto slowly calms down a bit as he nods. Very well. I know my son will do all he can to help you. So if you need, I will sit with you as you talk about it. We can't help if we do not know the situation. Would you like me to stay and sit with you? He cries some more as his breathing slows down before he says so quietly. Yes, I'd like that. I hear Nizu texting and I look at him as his eyes are full of rage. He looks up at me and nods. Shoto, what your father did to both your mother and your sister is unforgivable. But know this. I say as I shut the office door. The BSTRD will pay for raping them. I will see to it personally. Now Nizu sent Shoyuta Aizawa to pick someone up that will help you through this, and we will meet them at the dorm after school. But I need you to understand the anger you feel is natural as you are not your father. My guess is you take after your mother with that heart of yours. Rely on us to guide you and help you stand strong. Can you continue? He sits straight up and looks at me, his eyes no longer full of tears. Yes, 𝗧𝗏-sensei. After raping my sister, he beat her. He beat her bad enough we thought she was going to die. But luckily we got her to a hospital in time. We didn't know it was 𝗏𝗏 who raped and beat her, as he forced her to lie to us. But from that day on her light started to fade. She lost her smile and became cold. My training was increased to the point 𝗏𝗏 was always causing major injuries to me. Nothing life-threatening but DM close. We only found out about her being raped by 𝗏𝗏 after the USJ. He was slowly starting to breathe heavier, and with each time he started to show signs of panic, Mom would squeeze his hand to get his attention back on track. Very well. Natsuo will be contacted for how he was treated. Now for the root of the issue. How did he treat you after the incident with your mother? He sighed. Like a punching bag. He always would force me to overuse my quirk, saying I could be the strongest if I always pushed myself to the breaking point and this and that. He'd beat me until I vomited. He forced me to only get 4 hours of sleep, waking me up to train, keeping me away from my siblings, telling me I was created for the sole purpose of surpassing all might. As we sat and listened, my mother never said a word. She cried but never left his side. We listened to everything. He listed every injury he suffered, every form of abuse he went through, and by the end of it he was left shell-shocked after finally venting all his pent-up frustrations. You were right, 𝗧𝗏-sensei, talking about it does help. I apologize for making your mother sit through this with me. I should have been able to handle it myself. I chopped his head. Shoto. We cannot solve everything ourselves. Even with my strength I still suffer greatly from my past, but my parents and Eri are helping me through it. Eri suffers as well, but she never lets it show until she is asleep. You are strong, Shoto, as am I, but we are only human. Nizu, have you found any evidence yet? Nizu smiles at me. Plenty. I'd say we do this on the day of the sports festival. We invite 𝗏𝗏 for a spar with you. Let you go to town on him worse than you did Monoma, and then don't heal him but arrest him, as during the fight we will have Tsukachi informed of the crimes and an arrest warrant for 𝗏𝗏 ready. We will tell the world of this, not the part of the rapes. We will leave that to Fuyumi Todoroki and Rei Todoroki to decide if they want revealed on their own. How does that sound to everyone? I smile as I look towards Mom. Can I crush his pee-pee and ball into dust before he gets arrested? This makes Todoroki laugh for the first time in a very long time. Please let Mrs. Strife do that. He yells out and we all get devilish grins. Deal, says Nizu, laughing his butt off as Mom hugs Shoto, shocking him. Listen well, Shoto. My son may put up with many things. One thing he doesn't ever put up with is a man hurting a woman who is not a villain. So be ready to watch a massacre. Right now I can feel his rage burning. He will make 𝗏𝗏 pay for his sins. So stay strong until then. All right. She lets him go and stands up to look at me, nodding as she knows what I will do to Enji. Use them. They will enjoy it. I smile wickedly. You got it, Mom. Now Shoto, let's head back to class. I have an idea for you to try when we get there. He stands up and smiles a bit, nodding as we exit and head to the others. What did your mother mean by them, 𝗧𝗏-sensei? I laugh. Oh, you will see at the end of class. Laughing as we wander through the halls. We step out in time to see Melissa slap the PSS out of Denki Kaminari. What is going on? Ask as I walk up to them. I look to see Kyoka Jiro crying with the girls surrounding her. Kaminari looking at me terrified. Melissa and Mitsuki come to me. Nephew, I think that boy needs a reality check. I raise a brow as I motion for Shoto to stand with his classmates. What did he do? Melissa spoke up, trying to explain as best she can. He was trying his quirk and overused it. Jiro thought it was funny, as did we all, but after he dealt with the drawbacks he got mad at her only and called her a. She looks torn on what to do, and Mitsuki finished the sentence. He called her a flat-chested lesbian CNT who could never be with a real man. I nod as my fury has reached its zenith for the day. I see. So you are a real man, Kaminari. I ask as I draw my swords. What? I mean, that is, I take them and stab them into the ground. Then remove my jacket and shirt, revealing my scars as most the class looks sick. I asked you a question, boy. Answer me. Are you a real man? He freezes up before nodding his head. Oh, that's good. 𝗧𝗍𝗪 stand beside Mitsuki. You may want to get out your phone and record this. I say as Mitsuki goes and helps her up. So, real man. I see you are an emitter type with a halfway decent body structure. Correct. He nods again as I pull some knuckle dusters out and toss them to him. Real man. Pick those up and put them on. He flinches but doesn't pick them up. I said pick them up and put them on, real man. No. He jumps and does as asked. I walk in front of him. See, real man. Here's the thing. I am having a very bad day and you just crossed a line. Congrats. I won't expel you if you can actually hurt me. I give you 3 minutes to attack me in a quirkless fight before I fight back. If you manage to actually cause me pain, you get to stay here in UA. But if you fail to cause damage, you will be expelled on the spot and blacklisted from every hero course in the country. He pales as the class looks on shocked. Oh, you done F up hard, Kaminari. I hear 𝗔𝗫 yell out. I turn and see her and Mitsuki both with their phones out recording. I smile and wave at the camera. Smile, Kaminari. You're on camera. Time to prove you a real man. Shoto, start the timer. I say as I motion for Kaminari to attack. He doesn't for a moment, so I motivate. How about this, girls? If he manages to hurt me, one of you will go on a date with him. Seems real man here has no ball unless women are involved. I see a flash of recognition in Mitsuki's eyes and realize what's about to be offered. I laugh. Go ahead and say it, Mitsuki. Motivate real man here. She laughs. So, real man, if you hurt my nephew, I'll take your virginity. The class gasps, but 𝗔𝗫 laughs. What if he fails? She whispers. I hear Mitsuki whisper back. I'll take his but virginity raw with a massive strap-in. I cackle like a madman, scaring the class. They didn't hear, but I did thanks to my heightened senses. Fine. Be ready tonight, 𝗧𝗓𝗪 rock your world. He says, making the girls laugh as he runs forward and punches me right in the face. Wow. So strong, real man. I think you got rid of my itchy nose. Try throwing real punches, boy. He pales and starts throwing punches and kicks with everything he has. Hey, real man. Since you obviously SCK at this, I'll let you add your quirk to your attacks. Just don't make yourself stupid again, well, more stupid than normal, I mean. I want you to feel the beating I am gonna give you. He smiles, charging up his quirk but not releasing it, and still doesn't even put a scratch on me before the buzzer goes off and he shrieks. Well, sorry, real man, but you failed. Time to pay the piper. I dash forward and hit him in the stomach so hard I touch his spine. Oh fuck? I hear as he goes flying across the grounds before I catch him and snap his arm and throw him into the air. I leap up and roundhouse kick his, but so hard he embeds into the ground right in front of 𝗔𝗫. I dive down and land next to him. I pull his head up facing the camera. Well, real man, I think someone owes this appealing girl an apology, and if you don't do it right, 𝗔𝗫 is blushing as I lean in close to Kaminari and whisper, I will castrate you. I look up to 𝗔𝗫 and wink at her as Kaminari begins to whimper and cry. A real man, why you crying? I didn't tell you to cry. What do you need to say to 𝗔𝗫? He cries and looks up to 𝗔𝗫. I'm so sorry for calling you a flat-chested lesbian CNT who could never be with a real man, please forgive me. He yells as he bawls like a baby. 𝗔𝗫 kneels down, places a hand on his cheek, leans in close before going, F you stupid pig, I hope you burn in hell, pervert. So loud I think the whole school heard it. I am laughing my butt off as they stop filming. I stand up, walk to the class and glare at all the boys. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. None of you boys will ever say anything perverted or inappropriate to any girl of this school. Especially anything like what Kaminari said, do you understand? They all shakily nod their heads before I notice 𝗔𝗫 behind me. I turn and wink again before looking at Yaoyorozu. Class rep Mitsuki has something she needs you to make for her after class, so meet with me after class. Consider it extra credit. Now that we got real man dealt with, I guess I better heal him. Back to working on your quirks. I turn to see 𝗔𝗫 glowing bright red as I walk by. I hear her ask, wait, you heard Mrs. Bakugo say that? I stop and laugh. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention all my senses are at superhuman levels. My hearing is on par with yours at maximum potential. Also feel free to call her Mitsuki. She doesn't mind. She laughs before asking, will she really do that to him? I look at her while smiling. No, but Kaminari will believe she will. Wanna join her? I can even hold him down as you two scare the SHT and PSS out of that dude. Literally. She laughs her butt off. Relax, 𝗔𝗫𝗧. Dude's a perv, he deserves to feel like how he made you feel. I know you have body issues just as I do. I mean, you saw the scars, right? But I also know that you're not a lesbian or a CNT. If you want to help Mitsuki scare him, just tell me and it's done. Nizu won't care. Her jaw drops at this information. Close your mouth. You'll draw flies. Besides, a appealing girl like you doesn't deserve to be stuck dealing with dumbass views for the next 3 years here. I saw as I walk up to Kaminari and begin healing him. So 𝗔𝗫𝗧, is that a yes or no? I ask as I hold Kaminari up by the scruff of his neck. She looks at Mitsuki, who is grinning like a demon, then back to me and smiles as she nods and give a thumbs up. That's good to hear. Well, real man, you are in for a world-shattering experience tonight, buddy. I say as I tell him to go to Nizu's office and wait for me. He runs off like a scalded dog as we laugh. I walk up next to Mitsuki. Think she's gonna enjoy that more than me beating him stupid. Mitsuki laughs her butt off. You asked her to help me scare the little perv tonight, didn't you? She says, beaming at me. I nod. Yep. We'll deal with that tonight. She busts out laughing as 𝗏𝗱 appears. Hey Eri, where you been? She smiles at me. Oh, I've been sitting behind the class. Momo made me these weird headphones that made sound go away earlier and told me to sit there until she takes them off and let me play on a phone. Why did you beat up the zappy guy? I laugh as I called 𝗔𝗫𝗧 over. 𝗔𝗫𝗧, can you explain why I beat up real man to Eri, just not using his language, please? 𝗔𝗫𝗧 giggles as she begins explaining the situation. Along with Mitsuki, I head over to 𝗧𝗓𝗄𝗧. 𝗧𝗓𝗄𝗧, have you figured out your trigger? She jumps. Go. Sorry sensei, just you scared me, I didn't hear you coming. No, I didn't figure it out yet. It's so frustrating, but watching you kick jamming ways but was fun. I laughed hard at that before signaling Melissa to come over. Okay, while we work on that, Melissa, I need you to take this note to the support class for costume upgrades for 𝗧𝗓𝗄𝗧. She nods before taking off. Costume upgrades? She asked as I smiled. Well, you basically go ND, but haven't realized some people have quirks that allow them to see in different spectrums, meaning they can see you. She freaks, sputtering a bunch before I place my hand on her shoulder. Relax, I made a request for you to get a costume made using your DNA. It will be able to go invisible with you, but we only can do that once you manage to make yourself visible, so let's figure out your trigger. See, you actually bend light around you, making you appear invisible. So once you find the trigger, you stop bending the light. She was jumping up and down as I just shook my head. Shut your eyes and focus. Focus on your mind, as that's where the trigger most likely is. She stops bouncing and says, okay, focus. Trigger. After a moment passes, she squeaks. I think I found it. I smile. That's good, what does it feel like? She waves her arms up and down incredibly st as I laugh. Like a light SWH, but there's a bubbly thing around it. I blink, but just roll with it. Imagine pushing your hand through the bubble. Does it make it feel any different? She hums for a bit, then grunts with some effort. Yeah, I felt my hand go through. I can feel the SW. I smile as I speak up. Class, are you ready for something exciting? Gather round. They all gather up and Eri jumps up to me. I catch her and hold her on my hip as she looks at 𝗧𝗓𝗄𝗧. Watch Eri for something special that's not been seen in 10 years. I say as I look at 𝗧𝗓𝗄𝗧. Flip it. She grunts hard, but seconds later we watch as she slowly, bit by bit, starts turning visible again. Whoa, ghost girl is pretty, papa. Eri squeaks as 𝗧𝗓𝗄𝗧 opens her eyes and sees a stunned class. What? Really? Can you make a mirror, Yamamoto? I want to see. I giggled at that. Yamamoto must be a nickname. Yaoyorozu makes a mirror and hands it to 𝗧𝗓𝗄𝗧. She looks at herself as tears start to fall while she smiles and laughs. You're right, Eri. Ghost girl Toru is pretty. she says excitedly. Why ghost girl crying though? Asks Eri. I pat her head, because she is very happy Eri. Sometimes when people are very happy they cry. Happy tears are good tears. I say as I smile at her. She thinks on it for a second before giggling and reaches her arms towards 𝗧𝗪𝗥 who gladly lets Eri hug her. Thank you Eri. Hee I hope your papa made the bad man hurt worse than Monoma and Kaminari combined for being mean to you little cutie. Eri laughed as she yelled out, yeah he made him hurt really bad. Papa used his swords and everything. The class all pale as I laugh. Can any of you say you wouldn't have done same thing? They all look at each other and come to two agreements. 1. They do it too. 2. Eri must never be harmed by anyone. That's what I thought. I'd remember that hand you found 2 months back and reported to the police. He stops and grows pale. I laugh even harder. It was so hilarious you only ever found the one hand. Guess the dogs must have eaten the other. I say with a sadistic smile. Ida promptly vomits all over his own shoes as the class jumps back. Yaoyorozu spoke next. So in other words I look at her tilt my head and spoke up. Made him quirkless like he tried to make all of humanity. Kirishima spoke next as he turned green. Dude that's so freaking manly. Terrifying as heck but manly. I laughed so hard. Just then I receive a text and look at it. It's from Shoyuda. I smile as I turn to Mitsuki and send her to the dorms ahead of everyone with Eri. Okay guys, excellent progress today. Let's get changed and head back to class. Yaoyorozu, Jiro come with me for a moment. Jiro blushing and giggling grabs Yaoyorozu and pulls her towards my swords. I put my swords back in the holster. Stand up and ask, how would you like to ensure Kaminari never again pervs on another girl for the rest of his life? She smiles and nods. Very good. Now what I'm about to request for Mitsuki and Jiro must stay between us. Deal. She looks at Jiro who is pouting at her. Then to me. Tilts her head. I suppose that is okay, but what's the request? I grin maliciously as Jiro giggles. Are you familiar with 𝗧𝗟𝗘 dildos? She blushes wildly. I am, that is to say, yes sensei. I laugh. No need to be nervous. Now due to his mistreatment of Jiro and women in general who aren't as well endowed up top as others. Making fun of them for that is like the worst thing one can do to them with words to bully or hurt them. So we plan to scare him. Could you produce say 2 20-inch long 6-inch thick ones? One for Mitsuki and one for Jiro. She laughs a bit but asks. Okay, I think I see where this is going. But are you just going to scare him and not use them on him, right? I smile at her. Just gonna scare him with them, right Jiro? I say as Jiro cackles. I wanna watch him PSS himself thinking he gonna get raped yo. Yaoyorozu laughs as she thinks on it and grins wickedly. Then I'll make them with little spikes built on them. Jiro's jaw drops as Yaoyorozu looks at her. What? He is a perv, we all know it. Not as bad as Mineta, but how he treated you yet wouldn't admit he wasn't a real man and refused to fight Strife Sensei was him being a pathetic coward. He deserves a good scare. I laugh so hard. Hi. I figured you'd be down with it Yaoyorozu, but was a 50-50 shot. She laughs and looks at me. Call me Momo or Yamamo either way. I blink a few times before smiling. Only if when out of class you two call me Izuku. Deal. They look at each other before back to me. Deal Izuku. Very well Izuku. I laugh as I turn a bit before looking at Jiro. Oh, and Jiro. Make sure he gets so scared he pisses and shits his pants. She laughs so hard she falls down. Izuku, I think you broke her. I laugh a bit before thinking for a second and say, well, I got any pliers and a welding torch hidden so we make sure at least her quirk survives. That was it. That was the line that broke Yamamo. Haha, oh my god She falls back as Matryoshka dolls explode out with pliers and welding torches flying out as Jiro finally stands back up. Wait, so all the other things went over her head but that one cracks the uncrackable. The hell dude? I look at her and shrug. It could have been worse. Could you imagine if I said something like grenades? I mean I'd survive but you and her go boom. Jiro paled. Dude, don't give her ideas. Should you do something she's turning blue. I look as Yamamo just keeps laughing. Nah, she looks happy. Jiro raised a brow and looked nervously from me to Momo. Maybe, but isn't oxygen kind of necessary? I sigh. Fine, but you owe me a duet for this. I say with a giggle as I walk over and grab the scruff of Yamamo's gym uniform. Breathe, Yamamo. I know I'm funny and all, but unless you're trying an elaborate plan for CPR or something, I kinda don't need any kids dying on me no matter how gorgeous a corpse they make. I say, but instead of helping she laughs harder. Oh, Sirbi. I look at Jiro, who is laughing again. Dude, stop joking and help, huh? I sigh as I grab Yamamo by the waist and pick her up on my shoulder as she squeals before smirking at Jiro. Well, if you insist. You can catch her if I throw her in the air, right? They both finally stop laughing as Yamamo breathes deep before I turn and start walking. Jiro chasing after, giggling the whole way. About halfway down the corridor, Yamamo finally realizes I'm still carrying her. Izuku, can you put me down? I smirk as I turn back to Jiro. Most definitely. I just keep standing there as Yamamo starts wriggling around. Then why am I still up here? Jiro picks up on it. Because you didn't say the right word. Yamamo pouts. Please. I laugh. Nope. You asked if I could put you down. Not if I would. Yamamo sighs. Will you put me down? I shift a little before standing back up straight. I don't need you turning blue again. Jito cracks up again. DMN, dude. That's cruel. I laugh as I turn around and start walking with Yamamo blushing and squirming. I signal a thumbs up as we walk past a bench with cushions on it and immediately let Yamamo go as she squeaks before landing on it and pouting. You could have warned me, you know. I laugh at that as I answer. I know. But never said I would, hee. Plus that was for giving me a heart attack by nearly passing out like that. Though I at least gave you a soft landing, hee. She pouts again. Izuku. It's best not to mess with a woman who could create anything, you know. I laugh hard before catching my breath. But you see, I am safe. Wanna know why? Yamamo sighs. But I smile with a gleam in my eyes. I'm a teacher, hee. She stops for a second before she started laughing again. Well, he's not wrong, Jiro. Jiro laughs at how Yamamo laughs at the weirdest things. Sorry for carrying you so long, but you needed time to recover. As you're still a bit blue. Yamamo sighs. Fine, so carry me to the locker room then. I tilt my head as I look at Jiro, who looks stunned. Why would I do that? Yamamo pouts once more. Well, you had no problem carrying me earlier. Are you saying I'm heavy or something? I freeze a sec, knowing if I say yes she's going to be angry. But if I say no, I have to carry her again. Well played, Yamamo. Jiro says while giving a toothy grin and waggling her eyebrows up and down. Yamamo turns beet red. Sighing, I reach down and pick her back up. I'm not touching that question with a 30-foot pole. Just come on already. I start walking back to the locker room area. As we get there, Ishido and Hagakure come out of the locker rooms. I wave. Hi, I found this creation lady outside who seems to have a problem walking on her own. I would have taken her to Recovery Girl, but then I'd have to deal with 2 women saying things that scare me. Can you take her off my hands, please? I offer you a hot meal made by yours truly if you do. Yamamo started out embarrassed and panicking as the 2 shippers looked on, but by the end she began laughing madly again. Plus that keeps happening and it's really freaking out Jiro for some reason. Yamamo laughs even harder. I think he really broke her. Hope she doesn't turn blue again, says Jiro as she stands beside me giggling. Oh, speak of the devil, I mean extra pair of jacks. Hi, nice meeting you. Can I have the jacks now? Eri tore up my last pair. Why are you 2 still staring? Is something happening? Oh. Yamamo is blue again, I realize as I sweat drop. I really have to stop saying things. Maybe if I shake her it will correct the issue. I jostle her a bit as Yamamo keeps going. Nope. Is there a reset button on here? I think her default was changed. Jiro laughs a bit before jabbing Yamamo in the gut and sending sonic waves into her. Why, Jiro? She screams as she starts breathing again. Ishido and Hagakure were losing their collective SHT. Oh, that's the reset button. Thanks, Jiro. But still, can I have the jacks? I'll give you a shiny coin I found outside. Jiro laughs. Make it 2 and we'll talk, she said as Yamamo cracks again. Dang. I'd have to ask Eri if I can spend that much. Also, see, I told you she keeps laughing and we don't know how to make her stop. 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗏 finally catches her wind and speaks. How the hell does that make her react that way? Though it was a good bit fact you made Yamamoe break her out of her dull, always prim and proper way is kinda amazing. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 started nodding. Yeah, we were getting kinda worried she didn't ever have fun. I laugh at that as Yamamoe finally is breathing normal again. So Yamamoe, you done impersonating a Smurf? Yamamoe laughs hard before freezing. The Smurf? What's that? I laugh as I set her on her feet and pat her head. Oh, you poor child. 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗟𝗘 duets off, get the Smurf collection you hid in your room. We're binging that SHT 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗏𝗏 bring the drinks. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏 bring all the candies hidden in your pillows that you stole from 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘. Parties at 6. They all stop and look around. 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗏𝗏 bright red. 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 as she shuffles her feet looking away before 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏 was first to speak. How did you know I took his candies? 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗏 and 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗏𝗏 then joined in. That's for me to know, and never mind, you girls didn't know about the cameras in the dorms, did you? They paled. I laughed. Don't worry, I don't care about any of that. Just thought it was hilarious. I mean, punk rocker who acts super jaded loves Smurfs as much as Eri. 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 planning to get people drunk to play spin the bottle and watch her ships sail. And you really think nobody saw floating candy and contacted 𝗧𝗎𝗓 about the haunted dorms? And Yamamoe is on the floor blue, dying of laughter again. Okay, how about this? Party is at 5. No to booze. But yes to Smurfs and candy. 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 starts lagging. Dude, will you quit joking? They might believe you, and then, I smile as suddenly, Peh. I wink at 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗏𝗏 and whisper. How else did you plan to trick Kaminari into staying so we can scare him? 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 breaks at that. Yes, a party in honor of 1A. I say as 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏 run back in to tell the girls as I help up Yamamoe. Now we have an easy way to reach Kaminari. I'll force his butt to go to the class party before I cast a sleep spell on him and stow him in my room. Right now head in and change you two. I need to stop Todoroki from reaching the dorms real quick as I have a surprise you all need to see. Bye now, as I run into the boys' locker room. Phew, just in time. Hello Todoroki. Fancy meeting you here. Can you help me with bringing Kaminari back to our dorm? Todoroki blinks and shrugs. Sure. I've been meaning to tell you something and can do that along the way. I nod. Also, Kirishima, 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has to tell you something, so wait outside the locker room for her. Later. We left and started our way there. I texted Power Loader to let Melissa know our class ended and she can now get sorted into her new dorm in 1A. Strife Sensei, I want to say thank you for helping my family and I. We lived under that tyrant for too long. I smile at him. You're welcome, Todoroki. We'll tear his empire down around him soon. Oh, and I have a surprise for you at the dorms. I think you need it. I was planning it to happen today no matter what, but after everything you needed it, so I sent Mitsuki there and messaged her a new twist to the idea. He looked at me confused but nodded. I understand. I think. I laugh as I clap his shoulder. Well, let's deal with the real man, shall we? Todoroki laughed. We walk Uo to the door as Nizu says enter. Todoroki shivers. I'm never getting used to that. I smile as I open the door to a terrified Kaminari being held against a wall by Nizu with a sword. Nizu, please don't kill him until 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and Mitsuki have their fun. I walk over to Kaminari and with a closed eye smile I release some killer intent. Now, real man. You've been a bad boy. However, Mitsuki and 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 wanted you to leave on a good note, so they're throwing a going-away party for you. Now you are going to join the party and you will enjoy it, but be a perfect gentleman, won't you? Kaminari nodded fast as I stopped the killer intent. Todoroki, please keep him in line and wait outside the office for a bit. Todoroki nodded and walked over, yanking Kaminari outside by the scruff of his neck. I turned to Nizu to see his devilish grin. What's the plan with this party? I smile. I'm gonna give him a taste of hell that only women can give men. I will put him to sleep. Lock him in my dorm until middle of the night. Wake him up and have Mitsuki and 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 use some instruments to terrify him for life. Nizu smiles. I heard. Honestly, I wouldn't care if they used them on the boy after the things he said to me trying to defend himself. I pale. I'm not sure how we could prevent a RPE charge against them if they did that. I said, trying to avoid the subject. Well, head on back as Mitsuki did as you asked. I nodded. All right. See you tomorrow, Nizu. I walk out and glare at a terrified Kaminari. All right, Todoroki, real man, let's get back to the dorm. I say as we walk back down the hall. Shoto's POV: we entered the dorm and sent Kaminari to his room as Izuku had me follow him to Mitsuki Bakugo's room for some reason. Not sure what this is about, but my surprise is in there. Shoto, Prince of Ice and Flame. Burdened with endeavor. I present to you the goddess of ice, 𝗧𝗓𝗓𝗓, said Izuku in a regal tone. I was stunned as the door opened and inside stood my mother. I froze. I didn't know what to do when I felt hands on both shoulders and a tiny pair of arms around my leg. I looked to see Izuku on my right and Mrs. Bakugo on my left. I peered down and there was little Aries smiling brightly. Papa said you needed this, so I have to hug you. Now pick me up and take me to meet your mama, Prince Shoto. She whispered just loud enough for us to hear. Okay, little one. I say as I knelt down and picked her up. I stepped forward slowly. Each step felt heavier than the last. I'm almost there as I see my mother crying and hear, hurry. Your mama needs her prince. Eri motivating me the entire time. I take a breath and step faster to my mother. I hug her as does Eri and we hear. A son and mama need each other. Papa told me that you both need this, so please spend this day not sad but happy. We both kneel to ground crying as Eri lets go and runs off. My mother. I'm so sorry. Missed you so much. Can you ever forgive me? We sob together when she says, why you aren't at FF fault. I'm sorry I hurt you, my little P prince. IW will earn your F forgiveness. I chuckle as I cry. I'll never be blamed you. We just held each other and cried for who knows how long. After we finish I ask, who got you out, mother? She pulls back and smiles. Turn around and you will see the one who saved me. I turn and standing there was Izuku, smiling with Eri in his arms and a gift in her hands. Izuku's POV, I told you I got you a surprise, did I not, Shoto? I see him crying as he steps towards me and hugs me. T that you did. T thank you. I thought we'd never save her. I hug him before I tell him. You're welcome. Now grab the gift in Eri's hands, you'll enjoy it. He does as asked and opens it with Eri smiling. He smiles a genuine smile. Inside was a card with Eri's writing on it, to Mr. Shoto. My papa told me a bit about you and your family. He said your papa was very bad. But do not worry. Papa said he will save your mama and sister. Papa never lies and he is strong. Oh, and Papa said tomorrow your sister will live here too. Be brave like Papa. He promises things and they happen. I met your mama. She is so pretty. She is sad and wants to be forgiven. I don't know why. But I do know your mama loves you. She even calls you Prince Shoto. So please, Mr. Prince Shoto, don't be mad at your mama. She's so nice. I made a picture of your mama for you. I am not good at drawing, but I hope you like it. Thank you for reading, Mr. Prince Shoto. Just wait and Papa will do what he promised. Signed, Eri Strife. Thank you, Miss Eri. I love it. I believe your papa really will do what he promised. And thank you for the picture of my mother. It's appealing. My papa may be bad, but your papa is awesome, little one. He says as he hugs Eri. We walk up to Rei as Mitsuki enters and shuts the door. Rei smiles. He didn't blame me. All this time I was scared I'd never earn Shoto's forgiveness for his scar, but he never blamed me. She says as she cried with a smile. I smile at her. Well, then it seems a huge weight has been lifted from the darkness. Shoto may have hate and anger Ms. Himura, but it is only towards two people. His father and himself. I told your son this, but I will tell it to you as well. I will beat Endeavor to the ground and tear his empire asunder. That's a promise. What does that mean when I promise something, Eri? Eri smiles. It means Papa will do it. He never lies and always keeps his promises. So don't be scared, pretty Rei. Papa will do what he says. Hey Papa, does she know about tomorrow? I chuckle at Eri's question before telling Shoto. Hey Shoto, stand in front of your mother and tell her. I step back a bit as Shoto does as asked. Mom, tomorrow they're bringing Fuyumi here to stay too. At least until Endeavor is imprisoned. Rei looks on wide-eyed and blinks before she stumbles forward and Shoto catches her in a hug. It's almost over, mother. Just give him time and Izuku-sensei will save us all from that man. She smiles and cries on his shoulder. Oh, I forgot. Eri hopped down and opened the door to my room. Eri does as asked and standing there looking sheepish is Ochaco Uraraka. Hello Todoroki-san and Himura-san. I am sorry if I am intruding but Izuku-sensei said this was necessary for you to hear. She says as she steps and then looks at me. I give her a wink. Tell them, Uraraka-san. I'm sure they're going to be fine with it. She sighs. I am the 9th wielder of OFA. I inherited All Might's power. I also come with a request, Shoto Todoroki. Shoto looks stunned as Rei just blinks a bit before gasping. You're the secret 9th that Izuku Strife said he was to train to surpass the symbol of peace. Ochaco nods. Shoto Todoroki. I ask a selfish request that I do not have any right to. Will you allow me to be one of your mother and sister's guards? I am not a strong fighter but I will give my life to protect them. I don't know the whole story as Izuku said you all aren't ready to tell it. I will not pry but with me, Aizawa-sensei, and Izuku-sensei as their guards I can feel I'm fixing a small part of All Might's many wrongs. Please Shoto Todoroki grant my request. She says with a bow. Ms. Himura looks at Shoto as he is thinking this over. If you don't say yes I will. It's obvious she wants to do this even though she admits herself she is not ready for this. But I can feel her words have conviction, Shoto. She truly wants to correct the wrongs and if this helps her I want her to have the chance. Shoto smiles at his.